three stages to this game. You play, you compete, and lethal.
Steps into it. Pass is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding?
All day. Looking deep for Hollywood Brown again. He's got it. Brown off to the races. And he stays on his feet. Touchdown!
For overtime. Parker's kick is blocked. It's picked up by the Titans. This game is over. Second down in the air and picked off by Brad. Will he get it here? Yes!
Welcome back to another episode of the Three Man Draft, episode 4. This has been 2 weeks since the last one, to be fair, and I've spent about 2 weeks getting this all set up because of enjoyable technical issues, which has made me have another beer. Anyway, I'm here with Hampo and Reese Boy. We're back to fill your ear holes with great news about NFL. Even though we usually go in with the news, there isn't actually that much to talk about, really, apart from draft stuff. And realistically, we're going to do a whole draft episode next, for episode 5. Well, that might be in a week, that might be in 2 weeks, depending on.
Could have been 2022 draft.
It could be. We might not do it for so long. We have to do so much revision for it that it goes into next year. And by the time we know everything about this draft, it's a new draft.
We could talk about last year's draft all we want.
Yeah. Oh wait, it's happened. I'm gonna go to you, Reese, on this one in the news. Because what have we got?
Well, the only thing we've had really is the news has been draft. We all know that. There's been some not so nice news which we briefly covered last time, which we're not going to go over again. More and more's happened, and we're leaving that as that. Everyone knows it. It's not really football related. The other thing's been Tom Brady set up a new company. So it's called Autograph. It is an NFT company, which means...
Please explain what NFT is, because I mean you have to explain it to me. I have no idea what this is.
I mean, I still don't.
It's
I have no idea.
NFT stands for non-fungible token. It is a blockchain kind of creation, like cryptocurrency. The only way I knew about it was because the first one to happen for music was Kings of Leon's new album a couple of weeks ago, so I kind of found out about it. But yeah, long story short is it's a digital variation of a piece of art, a piece of music, audio, video, anything, limited edition numbers, and rather than having something physical to actually hold and actually cherish, and as you would a classic piece of art, it's a digital variation, almost like a QR code.
By Tom Brady.
Well, yeah. So what Tom Brady done?
The guy needed any more money.
he set it up. It's called Autograph, and it's not just going to be like him. It's going to be working with other content creators, actors, artists, musicians, anyone famous really that's got anything to sell. And there'll be things you can buy to own, even though you won't physically own them. And then if you wish, you can sell them on at other points to other people digitally. Like you can transfer Bitcoin to people in things that don't really exist. So
I love this. Has to be the strangest start. I mean, we've only done 4, but
and we're ever going to make.
The strangest start I think we've ever had. Yeah, what's the news? Well, Tom Brady's an NFT company, and we've just had Reese explain about cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, blockchains. Not very well, I'll hasten to add, because I know nothing, just what I found. But
what else we've got written down here? Well, obviously, the elephant in the room. All the news in the NFL right now, realistically, is around one man. I think we touched on him last time. It's not getting much better. I don't want to go into too much detail, but yeah, Sean Watson, it's not looking great.
Couple of
George thinks it's an inside job from
yeah, he's lost sponsorships, he's lost everything. It's not nice, and if the accusations are true, then
seems to be like a domino effect at the minute for the bloke, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, but yeah, if the accusations are true, then it's something especially we don't want to touch on anymore because it's not what we're here for. But yeah, we leave that as it is. We'll see what happens to him with the season kind of rolling further forward, because it doesn't seem to be going away. And what that means for his playing career is yet to be seen.
There's not much moving around either, because pre-agency's been done pretty much now, so like we had a lot to talk about before with that. Malcolm Butler to the Cardinals is the only sort of thing that's been, I think it's about a week old now, but I say we haven't been here for 2 weeks, so Yeah, that's some new news. I think it'd be quite good for them, to be fair. Cardinals are one of my. I think they one of my.
Dark horses.
I think got an answer. I think they're one of my answers later on for the questions we've got.
Dark horse.
Yeah, dark horse, Manly Cardinals. I do like them. I don't know. This isn't really much to say, is there? It's just so dead at the moment. I can't wait until we can do this sort of week in, week out with the games, because we can talk about all the games. We can. We've come into this complete post-season, which has probably put us in good stead, because we know what to do when it actually comes to it. But yeah, it's going to be good, I think, when we do week by week and we have stuff to talk about. So yeah, and in terms of the news, there isn't much. Even if you literally Google NFL news right now, it's just draft, which is fair enough.
Draft, Deshaun, draft.
yeah, that's all it is.
NFT.
So yeah, we're good. Tom Brady's NFT company. So yeah, the draft episode will be in episode 5. So we'll be a little bit more into that. But what I'm most looking forward to is we're going to go straight into the tier list. So this week is going to be the AFC, because I said last week, it wasn't even last week, but 2 weeks ago, we did the NFC, and we've now got it loaded up on our screen, but because we're lazy, we can't find a tier list that just has AFC, and it's got every single team in it, so we're just going to have to edit it and put it on Instagram later. So I let Reese lead this one, and yeah, far away.
So, AFC, we'll really go over the tiers as they are. So we've got GOAT is our top one, Pushing the Lead is our second one, Meh is the third one, and XFL is our bottom basement.
Good old XFL.
XFL.
I love the XFL.
Alphabetically starting. Should be with the Ravens.
Well, to be fair, why don't you just, to make life easier than going alphabetically, why don't you just literally go along there? Or
because this has got the NFC teams in mixing as well.
Okay, you.
I've already written down a list.
Roll with it.
You do you, Reece.
So I don't even get involved.
I mean, I've got a list. I've made a list. So I'm gonna shift out the Ravens to the end, as did the Cowboys last time. Titans are last alphabetically anyway. So
Best or last,
our two teams could be last.
100%. Still last.
Not so much the Titans.
And the Cowboys were last time. So Buffalo Bills. Where are we putting them?
Buffalo Bills.
For me, GOAT tier. Has to be GOAT
God,
tier.
no.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll walk out now.
No.
They're pushing the leaders, definitely. But I wouldn't put GOAT tier.
No.
What have they done to be GOAT tier?
Well, how they lost to? Who did they lose to?
They didn't win a Super Bowl.
I don't know, but what have they done to be GOAT tier?
I mean, they absolutely stormed their division. Like, they absolutely pissed it. The players they've got. I don't understand.
Don't get me wrong.
I'm honestly shocked that you two are not putting GOAT tier. Bear in mind how much Reece you absolutely adore.
I love Josh Allen, but
We all love Josh Allen in this room.
they are not the greatest of all time.
Yeah, but we put the Green Bay Packers up there
But-
purely because of Aaron Rodgers last week.
Yeah,
It literally was only because of Aaron Rodgers. You were like, we can't not because of Aaron Rodgers, and now we're saying
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron
he's won
Rodgers
one
is-
Super Bowl.
yeah, but Aaron Rodgers has proven it over 15 years.
I'm sure I can guarantee you we can be here in 20 years' time, and he would have done exactly the same.
Right, well, what do you say, Josie?
So I'm pushing the leaders.
Yeah, so I'm pushing the leaders. Right,
They're
yeah,
pushing the leaders. They're
they're very good, and I
Yeah,
agree with you.
they are.
They smashed it last season or last year. They smashed it, but pushing the leaders definitely. They're not Super Bowl contenders for me. They're pushing it, and they'll be for the championship, but they're not Super Bowl.
They'll be there this year. 100%.
wow. Wow.
This has started off a lot different to the NFC one. We
it
agreed
did.
on the first 4 or 5.
Yeah, no, I'd say pushing the leaders. I don't think they're not GOAT yet. They're not GOAT until they've proven it. But yeah, okay, cool. Well, that was a good start.
That was a good start. That was completely
Usually
different.
we always agree with each other. That was a
You were passionate about that as well. You said that with chest.
I was, yeah.
You've gone with that with chest.
I'm still a little bit disappointed that they're not going to go, but okay, we'll go. Next one.
This is how I felt.
George will be
with,
salty now for the rest
I
of the
say,
podcast.
Nah, not me.
this is how I felt when the Vikings got
Just
put in
don't like you two,
XFL last week or last time.
Yeah, fuck Kirk Cousins.
Cincinnati Bengals. Joe B. Tony
Cincinnati
the Tiger with the Tiger
Bengals.
stripes.
For me,
Meh.
GOAT tier. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Get out. Get out.
Go and sit in the
I'll
car.
walk, yeah.
Yeah, but I love Joe Burrow. I don't care.
I'd say meh,
Meh.
for me personally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
meh.
I'm meh.
I agree.
Yeah.
They've got enough to not be XFL.
They're that team though. I think give them a few years. If Joey B can turn it up in 2 seasons, they could get to pushing the leaders, but
there's potential. But at the minute,
right now, Bengals are a meh
Again, I think
team.
it depends who they draft, because there's a lot of talk whether they're like any sort of weapons for Joey B is going to be there, or they're going to go defensively. But see, they're on about him linking up with Jamar Chase again. But it's one of those things. If he's still there, you don't know. But yeah, for me, I agree. Meh.
Yeah, no.
Very easy into that one. So Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns.
For me, I think they had a very good year last year.
Pushing leaders for me.
But
I reluctantly want to put them as pushing the leaders, being a Ravens fan. I want to put them in meh, but they are, bizarrely enough, the team that 4 years ago were like 0-14 or something stupid. Yeah, they are now probably now pushing the leaders. I think they
Baker started doing bits of built.
We've all said, I think in the previous podcast, when someone said, "Are the Browns like competitive?" and we went, "Yes."
Yeah.
So yeah, pushing the leaders is where it's going to be. I think.
Well, that was easy. It's gone from being
Got it smooth, isn't it?
yeah. The second two have been really good.
Yeah, guys, I'm glad to see this podcast going to last half an hour. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Denver Broncos. So Denver Broncos is
XFL.
yeah now. And do you know what?
Like, what is going on in Denver? Like, you don't even you barely think about them, don't you?
You
look at all these
think
teams.
they're the most forgettable. For me, they're the most forgettable franchise.
100%.
You've got
Got something though. They haven't. It's a hard one.
If
Isn't
they're
it?
a
They've
colour,
got some players, but
if they're a colour, they're Magnolia. They are just
yeah,
they're plain and
Jane.
boring. Yeah, So when you've got people like the Jets and the Jags, they're laughable. So you see them and you know them. But then you've got the Broncos and they're just
They're just there. They're like Everton.
yeah.
They're just
I'd
there.
agree with that one. I'd agree with that one.
They're just there, aren't they? They don't do anything. They don't achieve anything. They just, I say they don't achieve anything actually on Super Bowl
Yeah, but that was
within the last 10 years. But, that's Peyton Manning. So.
exactly. I'd agree with XFL.
XFL it is. What a lovely city Denver is as well, by the way. Just, it's a nice place.
Denver, Colorado. So that takes us to the Houston Texans.
Oh, wow.
Last year they were. That's it.
I mean,
for
they're,
me,
they're probably goat for massage parlours, but. Just like con there. Sorry.
Oh no! Oh god! We're
Anyway.
getting taken off the air.
Taking off the air.
I think they're a meh. For me, they're a meh. And divisionally, they're a meh. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. Before, I used to sit there and be scared of our game coming up against the Texans twice a year. Now I'm like,
I think it's going to be a dodgy one for this year. I know, obviously, we're going on overall, but the season coming up, obviously, I know we've touched about it, the Deshaun thing, and obviously losing JJ, and
yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of
Still
unrest in the
haven't really
camp.
replaced
Well,
Debo.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, they're not the same as Broncos. They're not XFL, I don't think.
No, they've done too much in very recent to be
I
XFL,
agree.
but I think for me they're definitely a meh. I don't know what it's like for you.
Yeah, I want to go with Meh.
I'll probably say last few years pushing the leaders, but like you said, but yeah,
Last year, the current look for this current year.
yeah, going forward, they just haven't got it anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with that. To be fair, which
No.
this is a bit.
This
of
was a team that you were, I think you two texted about it when they were playing the Titans. You're like, I'm nervous.
Yeah,
The
it-
Texans. Now, who would be nervous about this?
Well, this is what I was saying. For previous to last year, because this last year was the first year where it was a case of I'm not really that nervous going in. There's a bit of it because of previous, but prior to that, it's always been this could be a tough game. This year, it's just gone and forthcoming out. It's not the Colts have taken that place for me.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And to be fair, that leads us on to the Colts because the Colts are the next ones. So
I've always had, the Colts. I've always had a soft spot for the Colts. I got a good friend of mine. Hopefully, he does listen to this podcast. Might not. No idea. He's a big Colts fan, and I've always liked him.
my
But
issue with
yeah.
the Colts this season is the massive downgrade on quarterback. No longer Philip Rivers.
You dangling a hook there for one of us to bite? Because that, I'm telling you, he's not. He is not a downgrade.
Not for me. Not.
I mean, what does Philip Rivers give you? He didn't really give him that much.
I
He was
know,
a
he just-
retiring quarterback that.
I think it's just more the experience.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was it. He's one of them leaders.
I thought he had a solid year last year.
I thought he
Oh, no,
was.
he
I thought
was-
he was solid.
It was solid.
To be fair, I think he's just had a solid career.
Yeah.
It's one of those, isn't it? It's like
He's
you look
reliable,
back-
isn't he?
You look back and you're like, yeah, like a traditional reliable quarterback, but then he's never like a standout highlight reel, wow kind of quarterback. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure Carson
right
Wentz
now-
will do bits for them.
I could put. They could be pushing the league.
I think they're pushing. For me, they're pushing the leaders.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I think like I pushed on last poddy with the coach that they've got there now. They were both at him and Carson Wentz were both at the Eagles together. And I think it was the year that they got them to the Super Bowl, or they won the Super Bowl. I think it was. So yeah, I just think he's going to potentially have another good year. He's obviously got a lot to prove now because he got benched by a rookie last year. So yeah, I think he's going to come out swinging. As much as I hate it, because I don't really like Carson Wentz, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah. No, pushing the leaders. I agree on that one.
And just to end a trio of rivals in the NFC South, Jacksonville.
Jags.
I mean,
I love Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, you do. You've got a soft spot for
I
him.
do.
It's like Fitzmagic for you,
Bit
isn't
weird,
it?
yeah. I love it. Don't get me started. Things are going to happen in here if it's up to it's magic. I do like Gardner Minshew. I don't know what, but there's something about him. I think
is it the mullet?
that mullet is stunning.
The
You should see his Instagram
handlebar.
post.
Yeah, the handlebar and the mullet.
Oh, you should see his Instagram post the other day. He was like, I need someone to cut my mullet. And I was like, oh, come on, cut your mullet, mate. Don't you worry.
Don't you dare touch that mullet.
That mullet is
Yeah.
staying. Yeah, no, I like Gardner. In terms of the team, though, I mean, Gardner Minshew isn't exactly their quarterback going forward, is he? He's
No.
always going to be a backup. Even though there was that brief period of time where everyone started like putting on fake tashes and going to the ground and fake tashes.
mullets.
Yeah.
Billy Ray
exciting.
Cyrus mullet.
Yeah.
It's one of those
That
things.
was he quoted Billy
Billy
Ray
Ray
Cyrus'
Cyrus.
song "Don't Cut the Mullet" on his Instagram post. So yeah.
Big fan, obviously.
Obviously,
of
I've
Billy
spotted
Ray,
these
yeah.
things.
Go on, Billy
Eagle Eye
Ray.
Jonesy over here. Yeah, no, in all seriousness,
They're looking promising though again. Well, on paper, like it's assumed they're going to get Trevor Lawrence number one, but
thing is,
I don't know. It's tricky.
I want to
it's
put,
tricky.
I want to put them in XFL right now, but then
I think last few years they deserve to be in XFL. Let's be real, they've not been very good.
Oh, 100%.
They've not been very good at all.
they're quite a massively supported team over here.
That doesn't mean much.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's not
It's
really
because they
true.
play over here
Yeah.
every year because their owners
Yeah,
own like
owners
Fulham.
Fulham.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah, and
It's
they
just
want.
that they play every London games. They
Yeah.
have one match over here
Yeah.
at least minimum.
Yeah, because they're the only team in the NFL that there was that. I mean, it crops up like once a year, doesn't it? The whole it's going to be a London franchise,
Yeah.
and it's always them that gets.
That's
gets
so
that hint of-
their owners part are owned by the Fulham's owners. Which it makes me laugh. I don't know why they don't get it with Tampa Bay because the Glazers own that with United.
Yeah, I mean, going back onto the UK franchise, personally, it would never work.
Mm.
I
No,
don't understand.
no,
That is
Not at
literally, as much as being an English fan, I would not want that.
It's like the whole thing when they say, "Oh, we might have a Super Bowl over here." I just don't. I think it's an
No.
American sport. I remember when I was younger and I used to watch WWE, and they were like, "Oh, we might have a WrestleMania over here," and I just think, as much as that would be great for us, I just think it's
Yeah.
a US thing.
Yeah.
I think just keep it over
Big
there.
up- big up Vince McMahon
it's,
mentioning
it's,
it.
yeah, it's the biggest event.
Oh man,
Oh man,
I hope he
Vinny.
listens to this.
Yeah, Vinny.
One day you will.
Sponsor us, Vinny.
He might be in those analytics.
yeah.
But
yeah,
no, I agree with you. I think it's a very, although there's it's a big following. Having a couple of gamers here
Yeah, I like.
really
yeah.
does do that. But it's not only the difficulties of travel. It's you've also got for every state out there, there's different tax implications. The tax implications for players here would be even worse. And so you can that's going to be a big kick up for the players' side. Plus, the difficulty
I
of
think the logistics.
that
of it is
logistical
mental,
travel.
isn't it?
Imagine as well if you've got a UK based team that's playing on a Thursday night game, and they're flying. They've just played the Sunday before, and they've got to fly from America to UK.
I imagine, yeah, like
For a Thursday night game.
You got to have either way, San Francisco, London.
Oh,
Mental.
horrendous.
Yeah, it would be. But I remember I read something. It was about a year ago now, and it was saying how they were thinking that maybe the London-based team would be in America, would basically play constant away games for a month and a half, and then they'd go back, and then they'd have teams come to them.
Yeah,
But
they'd
then
have a base camp, wouldn't they?
yeah, but then those teams coming from the States to here, it's just I just don't think personally a match would be awesome and cool to have. For me, that'd just be NFL just money grabbing.
I'd like to. Do you know what? I'd like to see if there was something like an XFL base that was based over here. So there was maybe 6 or 8 teams over here that were doing it. I could back that. But
you got the British American football leagues here, but they're so small.
they're all regional as well, aren't they? There's no one kind of size.
It's not like professional, if you know what I mean. Just don't disrespect people who play in those. I do a tryout with a team, but anybody could do that. And as much as that is amazing and great that you can just anyone get involved in the sport, which I think is brilliant. But there's no, you know what I mean. There's no professional a professional league here that is at XFL level would be awesome. That'd be on telly.
To give, because there's some players that you can see on YouTube and stuff that actually some English players that actually have some talent.
Oh, there's so much.
But I think wasn't it the year they won the Super Bowl? The Philadelphia Eagles running back. Well, I think it was English.
Yeah.
I think he was.
Jay Ajayi.
Yeah, him, and he was class. And so there is some talent. It's just
Yeah.
Goes unnoticed
He's now a
sometimes.
professional FIFA player now.
Yeah, we saw this, didn't we?
Yeah, I was talking about him the other day actually, bizarrely enough, that's why I remember it, because I was saying how he was one of those shock trades that I was he was tearing it up in Miami and went to...
He just kind of went nowhere, didn't he?
Well, he was tearing up Miami and all of a sudden he went to Philadelphia and I was going, why would you get rid of him? He's brilliant. And then there was rumours coming out of the camp that he had knee issues and that's why they got rid of him quick because they thought he's just going to we get good picks for him now and if we try and get rid of him later on, it's not going to work. Anyway, went to Philadelphia, worked out well for him to win the Super Bowl. But now
he's a professional
he got
esports.
cut from Philadelphia because of injury to his knees.
Yeah.
So the rumours were true, and now he isn't playing anymore. He's now a professional
esports player for FIFA, and I think we fought into Miami, wasn't it? Something like that.
no, it was Philadelphia's team.
Philadelphia
Union, I think it was.
That was it. And I mean, to be fair to the English players, one that's come to mind is because he plays for the Titans. Is Jack Crawford, defensive end, was born in London.
There was a few out there.
There's a few out there.
There's a kicker.
I was going to say there's a kicker. I think as well.
He was born in Scotland, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think there is.
Hair.
And obviously there's been what's his face's son who's now just going to the Canadian League. We saw the video the other day in Canadian College, wasn't it?
Yep.
Competed for his name.
Yeah, I've forgotten his name as well.
Sky Sports.
Bald guy that we love.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember, but we know who he is.
Goldilocks, you call him, is that right?
Yeah.
No, he's very good. He knows his stuff. He's just
very boring.
Very boring.
Very monotone, isn't
He's a Denver Broncos presenter.
Yeah,
he is the Broncos presenter. He's just dull.
Hello, I'm here with Broncos TV.
But I mean, back to it because we've gone on a tangent here. The Jags.
I'm actually going to make a note because I want to talk about it later. But we'll carry on.
The Jags. I mean, I agree with you. In the last few years, they've definitely deserved an XFL rating. But I'm also kind of. I'm just gonna. I don't know. What you
I'm really stumped for this one.
Did you know what?
They've got some players.
I think they're a lovable franchise.
I thought they drafted all right last year as well. A couple of players they got. It's a tough one. It is. And obviously, again, I know we can't look into the future, but Trevor Lawrence, obviously they got their new head coach. It's looking promising. So it's
it
depends on what we go on. I think
as it currently stands, with the fact they've not got that and they're there, I think I'll put them XFL.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. If we're going to go of current standards,
to push me to it, I'd say XFL.
And I think I'm going to keep using the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for my last tier list as my grounding because we put them as GOAT considering they've only ever won. They're definitely not GOAT, but I kind of regret that.
And you didn't want to put the Buffalo Bills.
But
that's alright. Don't worry about it. We'll go again.
They're not GOAT.
Yeah, but no, the Buffalo Bills are definitely not GOAT.
So that leads us from the Jags. Someone who I hands down as GOAT, Kansas City Chiefs. No argument.
Yeah, GOAT.
Yeah. You don't really have to talk about it, do you?
Really? we don't need to.
This is a team that 5 years ago you would have been like, GOAT, really? What are you on about?
That is a team who's provenly drafted well, kept the good players that they already had and made them better within a setup, and they're fire on both sides as well. So you've got players like Chris Jones.
Oh,
I went really blank, and then that's your name. I know it. Chris Jones on the defensive side. I'm like, he is phenomenal what he does.
He is literally the polar opposite of me.
He is
in every aspect.
But in their attacking weapons, we all know the firepower is huge.
Yeah. Minus Sammy Watkins.
I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I feel like I need to get a Chris Jones jersey.
Kind of got it.
Gotta get one.
Is it 95 he wears?
Something like that, yeah. If I
I
got,
can
if
see
I,
you in that, you know.
if I got his size, it may as well be a bin bag.
Yeah.
To be fair, talking about numbers, have you seen about the potential?
Oh, yeah.
potential
Yeah,
relaxing
there's a bit of
numbers?
news.
I rewind. News. Sorry.
Potential relaxation of numbers
The
rules.
numbers. Yeah.
I'm all for it.
That'd be, yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for
I
it.
am, but I also sit there and think. I can't remember it was come out and just said something, but like fans have now backed me this number. I kind of want to
Stephon
keep
Diggs.
it. That was it, yeah.
Stephon Diggs.
He's
Yeah.
at
He said
14,
people
wasn't
spend their hard-earned money on 14 jerseys. Like, I don't want to then
Don't
change
ruin
my
it for
number.
That's fair. Yeah,
That's fair.
And I get where he's coming from, and I do get that because I think we've had it on the UK side as well. People change numbers and
Yeah.
it goes up and down, and not so much in the kits, but you almost a player kind of now sits with that number. You know, you can say any number and
I
a
think
player comes to mind.
Yeah.
From a European perspective, and especially English football perspective, that
Numbers have
We-
a big meanings, don't they?
numbers have big meanings, but we're used to them changing. Like we know
Yeah.
we know players, and we personally know players who have changed their numbers.
Mm.
You know, so to
Yeah,
us,
I
it's
remember the
more
big
normal.
uproar with Beckham when he went from 7 at United for so many years to then 23 at Real Madrid.
Oh yeah, no.
But then 23 is just so
23.
iconic with Beckham, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though 7 is as well.
Yeah,
It's
he,
weird.
he had this whole DB7 brand, and then it was like,
That was CR7, eh?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's always not
That's a
7.
brand, isn't it? So,
CR7.
yeah, I mean, for me, I'm for it, but yeah, I get that. I think that's fair enough for a player to come out and say, yeah, no, if people spend, they spend, I don't know how much a jersey is out there, probably about $80, $100
Well,
for,
so,
for
yeah.
a decent one. I
Yeah,
mean, they
I-
cost us,
I know ordering it from the American sites like $100, $120. So
yeah, and they cost us like near £100
Yeah.
Yeah.
for a decent one. So,
yeah, it's
So,
it is
yeah.
quite a bit.
um,
But I mean, yeah, the Chiefs, as I say, with them, they're
Yeah.
just they're formidable. You know they're going to be up there every year.
There or
I
thereabouts.
wonder how
aren't
much Pat Mahomes chews up their cap space.
Oh, probably a lot.
they? You probably
Because he
have to
signed
do
a
lot.
massive
Wasn't
contract.
like
Was it 500 million?
Was it a
wasn't
10-year deal? 500 million guaranteed, I believe. it was.
I mean, from my memory, I thought it was a 5-year deal at 500 million or something. It's like
I think-
100 million a year.
I think it was 500 million, yeah, like guaranteed almost. But I'm pretty sure it was like a long 10-year, wasn't it?
Statman's on it.
7 years, $150
7
million.
years, Wow.
How much?
July 6, 2020. 7 years,
Oh,
$150
sorry. Okay,
million.
500 million. I'm a little bit out there. saying
$150
500
million with an average annual value of 21.4.
Haven't they
still mega,
restructured his
isn't
But
His
the,
contract,
yeah, it might have because that's
because
also,
of cap space?
well, yeah, $21 million per year is what Carolina Panthers are paying Teddy Bridgewater.
I feel like he's on more than that.
Yeah.
here we go.
That
Right
to
there.
me
The
doesn't
500
sound
million
like
sounds about right for me.
it was something stupid.
And I think they
Yeah.
must have had.
It's been updated.
They had to have changed his contract.
It's been updated. It was signed at the end of the year. Yeah, 10 years, $450
There you
million.
go.
There you go. Yeah,
There
we
you
were
go.
right. Yeah.
Plus a $10 million signing bonus.
Doesn't he got like
Guaranteed.
Doesn't he like part own the franchise as well? Is that part of it?
How can you do that? How if I was to sign a contract for 7 years at 400 million, they turn around to me and go, "Yeah, sorry, you have to change that."
Yeah,
I'll
I'd
be
be 21 or 150 now. I'd be like,
Yeah,
oh,
you're
So
going to
cap-
get the same money as Teddy Bridgewater.
Cap hit, right, at the moment, not too bad. 5 million last year, 7.5 million this year. Next year, 35 million. Then
one player alone.
Yep, this is Pat Mahomes' contract details. So cap
Well,
hit.
he planned his baby the right time, didn't he? He
Yeah.
thought, well, I'm going to get paid mega, so let's have a kid now.
30, so 2022,
Let's
35
celebrate
million.
the contract right.
2023, 46 million. All the way up to 52 million in 2032 when he'll be 37 years old.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
man.
Yeah, 470.
I hope he doesn't get seriously injured then.
Hopefully
That'll
not.
be.
I like him, to be fair. Good
Yeah,
guy.
no, you can't not like him if you like any football at all. Really, he's so good.
Unbelievable.
Next franchise. Straight into the XFL. Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. Lovely city. Shit team. XFL.
Great stadium.
Quick
Very lovely.
stadium.
Sorry, I wouldn't say lovely city.
No.
It's not a lovely city. It's
No.
a bit much of a dive. It's just a good bit of fun. But yeah.
Stadium's good. Kit's good.
I like their coach, to be fair. I like.
I like the haircut of the owner.
I like. Oh yeah, the owner. Remember, guys, get on Google and search the Raiders owner. He will make you laugh for a good 30
I
seconds.
reckon we should all get that haircut cut in for our first haircuts. I've flogged now.
I mean, let's talk about haircuts right now. We're all looking like.
I've come with mine with a hat
You're
because
coming
it
to
is
us with a hat.
horrendous.
Yeah, you're
I'm just-
you're a bit 90s boy band.
I'm embracing the Lego haircut.
Yeah, I'm going Lego now.
Yeah,
So
so
we'll
I could
wake
put
up
it on and take it off.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I wish I could.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I do feel like I wake up in the morning right now and just go.
Yeah, honestly, I showered this morning, got
horrible.
out, and it's just straight into curtains. It's not even worth
Yeah,
thinking
so
about.
to be fair, we can't take the piss out of the Raiders
Oh, we
owner's
can.
haircut.
We
He
can.
can. Doesn't he get paid stupid money? And he
Yeah,
should
he's
stand
worth
like that.
$500 million in his hair.
I mean, fair,
so-
yeah. if we were getting paid $500 million, we just get a personal bar.
I don't know. Yeah, so I have my own personal staffing for it.
Yeah, very true.
But yeah, no, Raiders. I think they're probably more
They've
meh.
got a couple of good players. They've got
It's not all bad. is it?
Hunter Renfro. He's a not really exciting wide receiver from them. Derek Carr needs to go.
Do you know what? If I could put them somewhere in the middle of XFL, I probably would.
That would be really nice if we had to put them in that middle bracket.
I mean, for me, they're the top of the XFL. But yeah, I don't know where you guys fall with it. I just they're not awful, and on their kind of seasonal records, they're not.
I think on the move they
horrendous.
deserve to be XFL. Oakland Raiders just sound so much better than Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
I
Raiders,
don't
doesn't
like
it?
the whole Las Vegas
Yeah,
thing.
but because they moved to Las Vegas, let's put them in XFL.
Yeah.
XFL is.
Poor.
We'll put them at the top of XFL, but because they're not as bad as the Broncos and Jags, but you know.
They are still the team that people wear their hats here and don't know what they're wearing.
Yeah, they just.
Do you know
Oh,
what
that's
it is?
right,
To
you're
go back
right.
to what you were saying, Reece, about their kit, I think a lot of people buy their clobber because it's black and it goes with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like black jeans, black top.
Yeah.
Well, that's
In a
what-
Raiders cap, right?
Yeah,
Raiders caps or
so-
hoodies. You
Yeah.
see, especially if you're in London, walking through London,
Yeah.
you see like Raiders caps everywhere.
I see it all the time on Instagram. I'm like, do you even know anything about
What's
America?
he
football?
doing?
And why willingly would you choose to support them?
Yeah,
Because
you
they, like you
see-
say, because they've got a black kit
Yeah,
and it goes with a lot.
Don't
it
get me wrong,
goes with a lot.
I like the kit, but
it's
I
nice.
know because Smithy came into work being a Raiders fan the other day, and he had a Raiders T-shirt on, and I said to him, I was like, "Oh, that looks like really smart." Like I was like, it just goes well. And I was like, "That's a good thing about being a Raiders fan
Yeah.
is they're black and silver." I was like,
It goes
being a
with
Ravens
literally
fan,
anything.
I'm either going to wear black with some sort of purple or a bright purple T-shirt. I was like, it doesn't go with anything, does it?
That's it.
So-
We're all right. It's kind of blues, aren't
Yeah,
we?
I've
So
got a
the
navy
blues
blue
not too bad.
or a
but
white and a silver. It's not too bad, really.
blues and whites is not too bad. But yeah, you're purple and.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah,
be.
purple is my favourite colour, but not like wearing
Not all the time.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
Going to LA, sunny LA, the Chargers.
Welcome to LA.
To LA.
For me, meh.
Chargers.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them in pushing
Yeah.
leaders. They're not.
Nah, not quite. Not yet. I think like they've.
Haven't they got?
Have they still got their coach, or has he been? Is he?
Didn't they get? No, they got a new. I think they got a new one. Didn't
I
they?
mean, now
They've got more of an
they've
offensive
got-
coach now,
Let me show.
but they've got.
They're not
they've got
got Mr.
Justin.
Stafford, haven't they?
Wait, who are we talking about? Chargers. No, they got.
Yeah, no, it's
Justin
changed,
Herbert.
yeah.
Justin Herbert. is it?
Yeah, so Brandon Staley is their new head coach. Yeah, because I thought it was who was it before? What was his name? It's gonna kill me. Anthony Lim. Yeah, I liked him. I was a bit ashamed that he lost his job. Yeah, no, Chargers for me they're meh.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for me they're meh.
Justin
Justin Herbert is.
I
Looking,
love Justin
I
Herbert.
think he like.
How he went? Well, what did he go in the draft? Sixth pick, I believe it was.
I don't want to sound like this was. Well, I said this ages ago, but I remember when we were talking about the draft last year.
Me and my old man said exactly the same.
I said I would have picked Justin Herbert over Tua.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
I was like, if I was the Dolphins, I'll pick Justin Herbert, not Tua. And I had him. I even put money on it. I had him going.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Going. Yeah, I think it was like with yeah. and I was, and they went Tua, and I'm thinking that was a safe bet, but like
They've missed out. Missed out on a gem.
Don't be wrong, they've got
Tua's good.
Yeah, they've got a gem, but
I'm still
just
not
think
convinced on
as an
Tua.
all round.
Still not
you go
convinced
Justin
on him.
Herbert.
I mean, I obviously don't know them personally. I don't know them personally at all, but from what I see, Justin Herbert's a very modest bloke. He literally is he very mod, and I think Tua may not be, I don't know, but Tua might be a bit more of a. I knew I was going to go like second QB. I'm a bit knows it all. He's had leg injuries as well, hasn't he? He had knee injuries.
Yeah,
or
so
something
that
like
was
that.
the big thing about him.
Yeah.
Because
He actually was pro day. He didn't go to the draft.
No, they were saying
the
he was
combine.
going to would have had the potential to go above Joe Burrow, was what they're saying first of all, had he not spent like a whole year out because I think it was ACLs and tendons, and which we all know you don't really heal from.
How just cack-handed does he look being a left-handed QB?
Oh,
Yeah, it's horrible.
When I watch him, it confuses me. I know it's only literally a hand, but I'm sort of like, it just looks so uncomfortable.
It's the same as when you watch a southpaw boxer.
Yeah,
If you watch a southpaw boxer and you're like, what is your stance?
Yeah.
And yeah, watching him throw left-handed is it's
I mean,
uncomfortable.
that's not a personal thing against him. He is a good QB, but yeah, I think what I liked about Justin Herbert is he left everything out on the field. When you watch him, like, don't get me wrong, the Chargers didn't have a great year last year, but you could sort of see him learning on the job, if that makes sense. Obviously, he's a good quarterback, and he was always going to come into the league and be like first rookie year okay and more than good really, but like sometimes you see him throw a pick or get sacked, and you could almost just see it ticking over in his head that okay, I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to try this play, and I just admired him a lot, and every time I watch the Chargers on like Red Zone, 9 times out of 10 it was always him making a good play. It was never really Justin Herbert's thrown his 3rd pick of the day. It was very.
Yeah, I really like him. I mean, do you see when he got his haircut? That made me laugh.
And that's another thing. I think halfway through the season he was like, I'm just going to be mature now and I'm going to skinhead.
Yeah.
Oh,
He had long locks, didn't he?
was-
And then he went skinhead.
Yeah, I think that apparently that was his fitness coach basically. He was like, yeah, it's got to come off, and it just got the clippers and just did him. Gone.
It kind of suited him.
CIA.
Can I just put out there how much, going back to very brief talking about Tua not going to the combine last year, how much we missed the combine this year?
Oh, honestly,
Oh.
watching it was always a highlight.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love
I
watching the
like the
combine.
combine.
Like, honestly, I'm just seeing everyone on a level playing field in the same area. Like, don't get me wrong, the pro days are great to watch.
It's the
but
egos that I like.
Yeah,
They're
you
obviously
see-
in their college, like they're like, I'm the nuts in college. But then you're going to a place where other people are thinking exactly the same thing. They're all competing to become. Well, if us three were, like, say we're all QBs, and we were going to try and do a drill. Bear in mind, say I went, Jonesy's behind me and Reese is behind Jonesy. Like, knowing that Jonesy's next, and then knowing that Reese's next. Like, you always got to try. I just like that whole competitive sort of ego
competitive
clash
vibe.
kind
And
of thing
seeing
about
all
it.
the current stats, they're all unofficial. They're all unofficial stats because nothing's really coming through.
Yeah.
And
That's the problem with, I think, that don't get me wrong, the pro days, great to watch, but the pro days, it's literally just all cameras
Boring.
are on. They're boring. It's just focus on one player. He's thrown to hit the players he knows, and he's got no one else.
That's what I
like
hate.
You just said,
you
there's
get a
there's
coach
no one-
stood in front of him that you might sidestep, if at all.
That's what I hate.
That's it.
It's like, don't get me wrong, some of the throws they do are jokes. Like some of the on the run sort of 60-yard dimes. But like you say, you haven't got like a God knows how much like a defensive player coming down to try and pummel you.
Yeah,
You've got, like you say,
722 stone.
Yeah, you've-
behemoth running.
you've
at
got
you.
like your coach that's put a hand in your face very slightly, and then you're running off right to throw it. Don't get me wrong, they've still got to make the throw, but I'm just a bit like,
There's no pressure. Is there?
yeah.
That's the thing. I think
And that's I think that's why. Sorry, Reece, when they go into the league, they're a bit like, oh God, like as much as they've had it in college, but it's a complete. Everyone says every rookie you sort of see get interviewed, they're like, it's a completely different league. You get grown men that have been doing it for years and get paid big bucks to come after you when you're a kid. And I think
They always say the quarterbacks always say when they get that first hit, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, I'm here.
Oh, I've just been hit.
yeah, exactly. And I think I guess that's just what you've got to learn when you get into the NFL.
I think that's the thing as well with it is that it kind of brings up two things. Is that one, the combine itself brings you a little bit more realistic pressure because although you
I mean,
don't have,
they still don't have pressure because
No.
there's no one coming at them.
You're not at a stadium and you've got no game on your shoulders and you've got none of that, but you've got the pressure of other players who you're competing against. So you've got that kind of self-built pressure. Well, yeah, you see pro day. Oh yeah, I've got to impress, but you've got every opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're probably not going to have a massive mammoth of a defender coming after you on a pro day. Bear in mind, you're that close to the draft and they're going to pummel you because imagine that. Oh, he's going to go number 1, Trevor Lawrence. Oh, here comes the
Broke his
defender.
leg.
Broke his arm. Good. Here's his right arm. That's a golden arm. Oh, it's broke. I get that part, but yeah, I would like to see a little bit more pressure on it. Maybe.
Yeah, we had Miles Garrett run at him with a helmet.
With a helmet, something like that. Just something like Chris Jones coming at him, someone massive. Just you're like, oh God.
But yeah, I mean, and the other side of that is it's probably why you see a lot more big names in the draft flop because they can't handle that pressure. Whereas you get the ones who go, say, 3rd, 4th, 5th round, and they may become or do more because they can learn it at their own pace in the league because they've not got the pressure of I didn't do it. It's all on me. I'm the number 1 pick, or I'm the second QB, or whatever it is.
Well, I guess that's part of the beauty of watching rookies.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you say,
You
college
never-
is
you never
completely
really
different.
know what you're gonna
No,
get.
yeah, exactly. Like prime example, LSU with Joe Burrow. That team wiped the floor with every team.
The whole team was unreal.
The whole team was unreal. Both sides of the ball. They just wiped the floor with every team they played. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, going from LSU, you have all these weapons to the Bengals when you've got what 1, maybe 2, and not the greatest defense. Like it's going to be difficult, but like
They're going to
then
have to
you-
draft good.
yeah, and then you see it and you're like, I've got to try, and that's when I like to see the mental capacity of someone being like, right, I've actually got to try and play smart here. I can't just throw a ball down to someone, a good wide receiver, and he's just going to catch it. Like, I've got to actually make a play, be smart, be calculated. And I think that's what I like watching QBs, or any position, rookie year, how they sort of learn and try and adapt on the job quite quick.
Yeah.
I mean, so the Chargers are meh.
Chargers are meh. Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah, I
Which, to be fair, that conversation leads us nicely because
Liking this, we're going off and we're making up for the lack of news by just having a chat about different random stuff.
it leads us quite nicely into the Miami Dolphins as the next team.
Miami Dolphins.
With Tua around.
Again, another
and
team I have a bit of
this
soft spot for.
pick. Do you know what? I like them. I really do like them as a team, as a franchise.
I thought they were unlucky
unlucky
last year.
Horrendously bad for them last year.
Yeah.
And they were more worthy, I believe, of a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Wasn't
the Browns.
but yeah,
it's a tricky one. It's meh or pushing the leaders, and it's just.
I think they're pushing the leaders. I think they've got to the conversation we're having about teams like that are coming through and coming up. They've got quite a lot, both experience and fresh talent.
I think they did well in free agency. I think they acquired well in that.
Yeah.
And again, they've like we said last poddy, they've had a few shit years, and now they're reaping the rewards now because they've got high picks.
What was the stat that we spoke about at work? It was that through one trade, through one trade, I can't remember what trade it was. They have
multiple amount of picks.
4 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks, and then a couple of other later round picks, all from one trade. I'm
gonna have a look at it and see if I can find it. Miami.
See if you can find it. But what they've created.
And fair play to them. Like, say for the fans, it's probably buzzing because they've been for years they were sort of terrible, and now they've got
a big history, the Dolphins, but over the last I don't know 6-7 years they've just been meh. There's just not much there. I do like them. I do like the Dolphins as a franchise, so I always kind of wish them well. But yeah, I think right now for me, I don't know. I don't want to put them as meh.
That's it. So Laramie Tunsil trade got 4 first round selections, 2 second round selections, and 2 third round selections from one trade.
They've done
Trade
well.
clever.
They've traded very clever.
I see the point. I think that again they're one of the ones that if I could put them somewhere in between meh and pushing the leaders, I would.
I agree.
But I think actually, given their current and recent thing, I think they're still maybe meh.
I agree.
I'm probably going to put them as pushing the leaders almost in anticipation a little bit.
They've got a good pick this year as well.
That's my thought. They've got good draft picks. I think there'll be a year where Tua does break out because he's not. I think last year
he's QB1 now, isn't he?
Yeah, so with the Fitzmagic side of it, it was the fact that he actually dragged them and did really well, but it's all on Tua now, and
it's still meh.
For anticipation, I want to put them pushing leaders. Mm-hmm. For the fact that we're not doing anticipation, we're doing it where they are right now. They're meh, and I think that is the honest answer for me.
Like you say, if there was a category between the both, they'd definitely be there. Right, they're top end of meh for me.
Yeah,
top end of meh.
You know, because I think they're miles better than Chargers, than Texans, than the Bengals we've got in there. But I don't think
they could be pushing. If we're doing this conversation in a year's time, they could be pushing the lead.
Yeah,
but right here, right now, I agree. They're probably meh.
For me, this year they're 100% playoff contenders.
It's a big year for them this year. Big year for Tua. Big year for a lot of their players.
Another one I think is going to be quite interesting is the New England Patriots.
Ooh, that is a good one.
Because prior to
this year, got to go.
I say prior to Tom Brady leaving,
yeah,
you'd put them in GOAT. I mean, their last year with Tom Brady wasn't
as a franchise
phenomenal.
With the Super Bowls they've won, then actually they're GOAT.
Yeah,
they're a GOAT franchise for what they've done, and they're forever going to be engraved on that trophy and be up on the walls is six times. I can't remember.
5, 6 times.
The greatest ever, really.
Yeah, so no, 5 times. 5 times.
5 times. 5, 6 something like that.
I can't remember. But yeah, a lot of times.
Next the Steelers, aren't they?
Yeah, it's obviously Steelers have got 6. So yeah, for that they would be GOAT. But obviously we're doing this one right here, right now, and with what they've got,
just not the one.
I'd put them as pushing the leaders right now.
Yeah, I think. I mean, they're not at all a meh. and for what they've got. And I think, as we said previously as well, they've traded really well in free agency. They've made some huge changes.
They bloody had to.
You know, Bill Belichick has got.
They went ham.
Yeah, he's literally he's taken what's been given to him and said, right.
Whoever was free, that was half decent. They got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it 10 trade?
A lot of
10
them.
signs I made?
Yeah, it was 10. And a lot of players, the chance to go and, you know, if
Yeah,
Bill Belichick phones
yeah,
you
of
up, you're going to
course.
be like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
You
Go on, you go.
So you hear a lot of things come out of the Patriots camp of they're very rigid, and by the sounds of it, they're probably not a relaxed camp in the Bill Belichick way. It sounds very military-like, very rigid, and a lot. I think from what I've heard of players who come out of there, they've said like you either believe in the Patriots way or you don't. Like, and if you're involved in the Patriots way and how it works,
You're all in or you're not all in.
Yeah, you're going to be successful. So I think that might be a shock for some players potentially. I mean, Antonio Brown always wanted to go there, and he managed to get his way there, but then that went a bit Pete Tom.
They've had a few dodgy people there, haven't they?
Yeah,
Rodriguez.
It's.
There's someone you love to hate and hate to love. It really is, because it's the whole flake.
Deflate.
That's the one. I can't say it.
Deflategate.
For me, I despised him. But
Did I?
I was like, you don't need to cheat. You're the best team. You're gonna win it regardless. But then they did that, and then I was convinced. I was like, they need to strip him of the Super Bowl. They have to. They didn't. I know that may have been a bit harsh, but I just think you've got that way cheating. You don't need to do it. But then again, on the other hand, you're like, it's TB, it's Bill Belichick, one of the best teams ever.
Yeah.
You can't not hate them.
Personally, they're definitely a team I despise. Like, literally, if we're ever up against them, I just want to just destroy them.
Yeah.
Like now, it's like, yeah, I don't like the Patriots generally.
I think it's one of those.
I find their fans as well.
Yeah, for me, I was about to go on to that. Like, obviously, I know you two guys are United.
They're the Liverpool of.
You're Liverpool and United, I think.
They are the Liverpool
yeah.
of American football. You just hate them.
Do you know,
Well,
I think they're more Liverpool than they are United.
Yeah, but the thing
I don't think they are.
I think Man
Liverpool
United are the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys, yeah.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. I think the Pats, because of the way the fans are. I think Liverpool fans are trying to take a bias out of it. I think Liverpool fans are disliked more than United fans are. I think people just think United fans are fake and all from down south, which me and Jonesy don't help with. But I am. But yeah, I think.
Got a family up there, mate. You know.
Yeah, but
I don't know
just.
but
I think for me, yeah, I think you're right. Cowboys is United, and
I won't call them as England's team. Like Dallas Cowboys.
England's team.
I won't call United England's team.
I don't think you can do that in this country though.
No, you definitely could.
No, but the thing is, and I think that's because yes, everyone's got kind of a love for it, but here a lot of local stuff comes into it still as well.
You know? I get what you're saying though. The whole Liverpool and United are like a Dallas or a Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people love to hate them, but then let's be realistic. Obviously, United in recent years and Liverpool.
I think
this season.
In it's going to contradict what we just said, but I think United are probably hated more than Liverpool. But
I think.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that.
I'll probably say Liverpool fans are hated more.
Yeah, I think Liverpool.
But I think United are hated more than Liverpool.
Yeah, I think fan-wise, that's what makes it put up the patch. But yeah,
But go back to it, yeah.
Pat's pushing the leaders, and
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
And to be honest, I don't think Cam will have a bad year as he did this year. I think he won't be great.
I think he can.
I don't think he'll be great, but I don't think he'll be terrible. I really don't.
I reckon they'll draft another QB next year.
I mean, definitely. But then I don't think, realistically,
They could do a Green Bay Packers and draft this year.
To be fair, I see them trading up.
What are they?
I think they're mid-teens.
Are they?
Bring it up.
So they're fifth, aren't they?
Pull it up.
They're that high?
Who are they?
Because there's one about them getting Justin Fields, but if he's still available, so I can't imagine they're
NFL
low.
draft order. So by order, they are. Oh, there's been a couple of trades, isn't there? 15. So 15 in the first.
Really?
They're
I think
15
saying
round
about
one.
trading up.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, that must have been it then. Because Justin Fields not going to be there at 15.
15. That's the first round. I don't know what I don't have what they have in round 2.
I think that's the main one. The first one is where they're going to draft and who they're going to draft at what stage.
I've pulled up the draft order. It's only showing me the first round. I don't know why. But yeah, they could do a Green Bay, and all of a sudden we all be sat there watching it, and they go, yeah, New England select quarterback. I don't know, Trey Lance.
I see.
Imagine it.
I see them doing that, but I just see them using the quarterback. Whereas I know obviously Green Bay rightfully stuck with Aaron Rodgers. I see them.
Now, see, I think if they trade up, for example, like I've heard a lot of rumours that they're big on Justin Fields. So if they get, so just for argument's sake, they get Justin Fields. Okay, he's not been great the last couple of years. Well, I say last year anyway. But you think someone like Justin Fields learned off Cam Newton, who, let's be honest, when he was at the Panthers and they won the Super Bowl, he was MVP. He was class. He was unreal. Okay, they might be a little bit different in regards to like obviously stature and QB style, but I think a year.
Justin Fields is more that.
A year of having
Lamar Jackson-esque.
A year of having sort of knowledge of, also Bill Belichick and Cam Newton, who's been there and done it. I think it would be great for him if obviously if they go that route. But no, I get what you're saying.
No, fair play. I mean, on to the next one. I think should be an easy pick. New York Jets.
Oh, New York Jets.
I mean, next year if they draft my boy Zachy Wilson, then they're goat tier. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Well, they're going to do it. So, XFL.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't put them anywhere else.
You can't
to be
really
fair,
say much.
I feel bad. I mean, I say I don't feel bad. I feel bad, but they have not done it. It's not even last season. The season before they were crap.
No,
Season before that they were crap.
They've had opportunity to improve and they just haven't.
What do you think?
Nothing.
They had Jamal Adams, and he was, and I still think he is extremely good. Yeah, and I just think he was just rotted there. Like players that go there that are good just seem to rot because they're not, because there's like, okay, we could get other good players and we could sort of put a sort of a charge together, but that just doesn't happen. Hence why.
And Sam Darnold's now gone.
Yeah, their good players leave. Which Jamal Adams went to the Seahawks, Leonard Fournette left. So, yeah, and obviously Sam Darnold, who not bad.
To me,
but
there's something in the background. There's the
got
way
to.
that organisation is run, or there's something, like you said, there's something not right. The players aren't happy there.
No.
There doesn't seem to be, like, you got players in some teams, right, that, you know, the team might not be successful, but have been there for years and they'll stay there and don't want to leave because they love the organisation. I don't think could you name a Jets player? I mean, you know, there's probably someone listening to this podcast. Oh yeah, I can name a Jets player that's been there for years. Yeah. But I couldn't name a big name Jets player who's been there for years and he's like, you know, you think the Jets and you think them.
It's like there's no sort of desire to actually want to try and do well. They just
you think of the Giants, you go, oh, Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Do you think of anybody? Do you think of anybody when you look at the Jets?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
it's one of those.
It's hard to say good stuff about the Jets, apart from the kit, the green.
I do like the green. I can't believe I said that was their favourite all the time.
Best kit.
He sat there again with a Heineken. He's like, yeah, that's why it reminds me of this.
That's because you took. I was going to say the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm sat there going, oh, we were sat there recording it, and I didn't want to pause the record and be like, yeah, let me think about this. Guys. I was like, yeah, I do. I just like green. It's a good colour, isn't it?
It's not a terrible kit, is it?
British racing green. I just like their helmets.
You sound like a helmet.
Oh my god! Right,
we won't talk anymore about helmets.
Oh, Steelers.
As long as it's not green, they're the doctor.
No, it's the mighty Pittsburgh. Big Ben. You know where they're going.
Oh, I hate them so much.
You say that confident, Reese. Where are you putting them?
For me, right, in the same scenario of how the Pats are, I think they're pushing the leaders.
Really?
Now, and my reason for that is that you look at how well they did last year, but they didn't have enough to finish it off.
In fact, they went 11-0 and then it went peak time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they've got the history to be a GOAT franchise with the amount they've got, but I think currently they're a team that, you know, definitely going to make the playoffs and they're going to be high up in the rankings. But I don't think they're going to. They're
kind of discrediting them a little bit. It's hard because, yeah, I get they kind of bottled it towards the end of last season, but they were so good. They were so good last season up until it's hard because I get both arguments. Like they were unreal, but then they bottled it. So in that sense, they're not GOAT because they bottled it. But then I don't know.
Putting my bias aside, if they had gone all the way to a Super Bowl, I'll probably put them in GOAT right now.
Yeah.
But I'm completely with Reece on this. I want to put them in. I agree with pretty much everything you just said. I'll put them in pushing the leaders.
Necessarily, they didn't have to win the Super Bowl. If they got to the Super Bowl, I think fair play, you put them in GOAT. But they couldn't manage that. They couldn't beat who is and has been currently the best team in the AFC, which is the Chiefs.
I feel I know we talk about quarterbacks a lot, but I feel don't get Big Ben, brilliant player, been in the league for years, a bit like an A-Rod kind of. I mean, he's not as likeable as A-Rod, but I think they need a new one. I think they need someone a bit more dynamic,
More mobile for a
more
start.
like the way the league is going now.
The change of the game.
The game is changing in the sense that that quarterback, you know, he is the traditional quarterback. Stand in the pocket, big, strong, you know, broad-shouldered, like he would launch a ball. He could launch a ball for 80 yards if he really
But wasn't
wanted
the reason thinking about? Wasn't the reason they started failing because he got injured? Was that right? Am I thinking right?
to.
Didn't he
I can't really. I don't
don't
know.
think so.
I want to say he got injured.
He had to, yeah, he did. He was out for a game, I think.
If I was them, I'd be. You know what I'll do if I was them? This year, I don't know if I've still got that
I
list.
think they've
up.
got a good pick. I don't think.
No, what I would do is I would pick a QB, but I'd pick that sort of outsider QB, that like someone that's going to be a backup, maybe for 1 year.
There's
2
probably good
years,
second rounders. You think
and
going
just
back to
and I hope you found like a nugget of gold, if you know what I mean, or
The Tony
a
Romo.
diamond in the rough kind of thing.
The Tony Romo, the undrafted QB that does bits.
I feel that's what
Yeah, Tom
Steve.
Brady.
Well,
That's
I say
what
he's not
Steelers
won
did.
it yet, but like Dak Prescott, he went second round, going back to the Cowboys. Like, as much as he's not necessarily proven, but he's
And
still
he-
a very good QB.
But I
He
need
went
a diamond
in the
second
rough.
round. Yeah.
And I think they also need someone who he says more dynamic and more versatile, because
Yeah.
that position's changed where, yes, you still need a good arm and you need to be able to do things, but you also need a good arm on the switch. So you look at the likes of Pat Mahomes, who will play balls that a traditional quarterback won't go for, but can also run the ball and move the ball well.
I think really, yeah, like you say, because it's like people like Lamar have just changed the game so much. You need to be able to run as a QB now, because let's be realistic. Not all plays are going to result in a tight end catching it or a wide receiver catching it.
No.
Like, you're going to have to scramble 10 to 15 yards, maybe more. And like, I can't. If we're talking about Big Ben, I can't imagine him doing a 20-yard dash for a first down.
He's a Philip Rivers, isn't he? He's very.
Okay, yeah, like you say, he's old. So
He's older,
even
and,
in his
and
heyday, I don't imagine being
he's
quick.
traditional. That's what I mean. They're not really good. They sit there. They use the
don't wanna
pocket.
run.
They use the pocket
Yeah.
well. They use he
He is very
phenomenally.
traditional. I mean, this is going to take I'm taking another angle at this with Big Ben moving on. Is you look at the Steelers and a lot of their players, their good players, are young, and a good example of like who they are is all the TikTok videos that came out of the Steelers camp, right?
Juju.
In the Juju and all that, and they all loved it. Like they were like 11-0, and they were all like, I don't blame them. Like they were all like, they were dancing and stuff. Did you ever see
No, was not part of it.
Big
one
Ben in
time.
any of those? Like if they like, I'm not gonna, I'm not bigging up. This isn't bias saying about Lamar, but I feel like if Lamar was in that situation, he would be involved. Like he would be like, they would like buy into like,
yeah,
because he's young, and like I feel like if the Steelers.
it's just a tradition.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not
Generational thing,
sort of like shitting on him.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant QB, and he I mean, they went 11-0 for a reason. Like he's still there, but I just feel like they need to get like that younger guy that they can that team, because they're building everything else. They're building really well.
Right, they've got the foundations to be a big player
Yeah,
for
man.
years to come.
Like
Again,
I don't know. I think I've spoken. I've got his name.
Chase Claypool.
yeah.
Chase Claypool. I like, as a Ravens fan, I hate to say it, but I love Chase Claypool. I think
Did he
he's
go
brilliant.
undrafted? Is that right? Or very late?
It was late, yeah.
Or
Okay,
late
well, it
round
wasn't. No, it was like third or fourth, I think, from memory.
He went he's unreal though.
But
What a
yeah.
rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went on here. Second round.
What second
That
round?
second one, yeah. It was still high, but yeah.
Yeah, pick 49. Second round. But yeah, it's the Steelers. They're one of those teams that they've got the foundations to, I think, to be a driving force for years to come. They just need to find those final pieces. Which leads us
Yeah, agreed.
finally on to obviously two straight into goats, Ravens and Titans. Chat done.
It's the last. The last
It is
one.
the last two, yeah.
Oh my
so,
god. Wait, go. Yeah, put them both.
Yeah, both go, obviously. No bias whatsoever.
Right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to.
Yeah, this has been a tier list. So I mean, for Titans, I would take my bias out of the way. I put us in pushing the leaders. I think we've got a good team. I'd love to say we go, but we're not. Not yet, hopefully.
Ryan, Timothy,
I think the South is ours.
Right now it is.
Yeah,
We'll see
at
it
the
as well, I
moment,
think.
yeah. And for maybe another year or so, definitely.
Yeah, no, right now I think you know, a few years ago I would never have put the Titans as the top of that division. But yeah, 100%. I'll put them to win the division now.
Is it because Titans are good, or is it just because the division's crap?
Good question.
Because you think, I'm not trying to slate. Don't worry, I like the Titans.
Devil's advocate over here.
Yeah.
Because the players you've got are jokes.
I think. Do you know what I think?
I'm big on obviously Derrick Henry.
My reason saying that we're good is the sense that if we weren't, I don't think we would have held our own in playoff games that we have done.
I'll say I think the Titans, they postseason, like unlike us, postseason they just turn it on. Like admittedly not got all the way, but like you're good. You're good in postseason, and in the regular season you're also good. But I think
the Chiefs, when they 2 touchdowns up.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
That is the Chiefs though.
I've
never been so glad to watch that game. I was sat there with a full. I had my Chiefs hat on, my Chiefs top on, my Chiefs shorts,
that year,
Chiefs socks.
I think if
I
that was
like,
a year,
come on.
if that was a year to do it, because
What they did to us last year, fuck them.
Well, that was the thing, wasn't it? That year. You know,
I thought could have been your year. I did.
Well, do you know what?
Especially when we went 2 touchdowns up, I was like, Jesus.
After
Jesus
the Ravens
Christ.
game, I thought it, because that happened. I was like, okay, the Pats game happened, and it was like, this can't happen. And then getting 2 minutes to the half, everything's going well, and then Pat Mahomes does Pat Mahomes, and
I think it's one of those things like the year, that year we're on about. I think it was the whole underdog thing. Like, we're outsiders. Like no one expects us to get it. I don't think half the players did. Really, maybe a couple. You got there. Obviously, you beat the Ravens. Didn't you have a week off the Ravens? I think that's what absolutely killed you off.
Yeah.
You beat them. Then obviously you're going into the Chiefs game. Obviously you beat the Pats. Going to the Chiefs. You got touchdowns up, and then I just think going into this season, obviously you were good again, but then you're like, we're not that, because we won the division, we're not the underdogs anymore.
I think it was complete.
You had home field advantage. You're a bit like, it's Derrick Henry this year. It's not going to be as sort of secretive as it was.
Yeah.
It still had a monster year, but I think that benefited you guys in the year that you could have gone all the way, because no one expected, like, probably even I'd imagine deep down, even you, Reece, was a bit like, I can't believe we actually beat the Ravens. Then when you went 2 touchdowns up against the Chiefs, I bet you were like, shit me, because I was like, Christ, they could actually knock the Chiefs out.
I mean, you think with that year, 6 games in, we were 2-4.
Yeah,
that year 2-4, and we did that. This year, we were 5-0, and then the week 6 game was the Steelers game, where both teams are 5-0, and we lost to say last couple of seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know,
wasn't this year when it was close against the Texans? Last game of the season, away, I think.
Away,
it was 40-something cool.
That was away, and that was the same, to be fair. Game 5, yeah.
Did like a 90-yard run or something on it.
Yeah. Game 5 was when I won that bet, and I was there talking to you two on text, like, what's going on? I can't deal with it. And had the first go 5-0 this season.
Odds were on that. That was mental odds, wasn't it? It was pretty decent.
It was something decent. I can't remember, but it was one of those where I expected more, and we actually did less, but we didn't go as far as the previous year. But yeah, for me, pushing the leaders, not quite a go, definitely not a meh.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's heartbreaking or not, it's entertaining every week purely because we can't defend, so we concede a lot and we score a lot because we've got a lot of weapons.
Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, pushing the leaders.
Yeah, pushing the leaders. Good for that.
Which, to be fair, then leads on to the Ravens, which I say pushing the Ravens, pushing the leaders again.
Pushing the Ravens.
Sure, Raven.
But pushing the leaders again, not reach that GOAT pinnacle yet.
It's just purely because, okay, you beat the Titans, you've just not done it in the postseason yet. Really.
You know, to be fair, Lamar's broken that. Can't get a playoff win.
Yeah, I'm glad he's done that. I'm really glad he did that. Because the disrespect people were giving him because he couldn't win a postseason, like the geezer has.
So he played 2 years.
Yeah, the geezer's completely changed the quarterback role probably forever. Like, and he's fucking good. Let's be real. He can throw, he can run.
I mean, where did this is again? Did you come third in your division this year? Or was it second? Second, because the Browns were just off a place, still made playoffs, well, didn't they?
I think so. We were the same. I think, from memory, we were the same as the Browns.
Because your whole
the Browns had to beat someone last regular game of the season, didn't they?
Yeah, we came second.
I think didn't they? It was the Browns that took the Dolphin spot. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, so we were second. equal to the Browns in terms of wins and losses. 11 wins, 5 losses.
Yeah.
Points, 688. We were literally the only reason. Streak. We won 5 in a row. But yeah, we scraped it last year. We honestly, I remember literally looking at.
It was the final run-ins.
I remember looking at literally had a tree of how we could get to the playoffs, and it was like, we relied on other people. It's not what you want really. But yeah, I think right now, right here, right now, I'm pushing leaders. Not go yet,
Definitely got the potential to.
Oh, 100%. Like
100%.
I still, after watching last season, I enjoyed last season, but it hurt me. It actually made the season before hurt more, because we literally dominated that year, and I remember no one saw it coming. And it just started so well. What are you laughing at over there?
I just remembering you with a bet.
Oh yeah, so we'll go to that. But it was good. We literally tore it off, and I was level-headed for most of it, and then got near to the end, and then I just was like,
we're going to win it.
Your old man was like, yeah, who's going to win it? Kansas or Baltimore. And I was like, Baltimore. We're going to win it. 'Cause the Ravens are going to win it. I'm confident now. The way we played, and even if you weren't a Ravens fan, you wanted to watch the Ravens game.
Yeah, of course. Well, you want to watch
so exciting to watch. And then watched last year, and don't get me wrong, still played similar, still played well, but it made the year before hurt even more, because I was like, I cannot believe I'm sat here 1 year later after watching a team that got a bye week, top of the division, people were literally putting them in a shoe-in for the Super Bowl, and I'm now sat here trying to figure out if we're going to make the playoffs or not, and we've got pretty much the same team. Nothing much had changed. And this year we've lost a lot of players, so I don't know what's going to happen. But anyway, my rant is over. Yes, I did lose a bet.
We've got another weapon though, Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins.
Big
He's a quality player.
With losing Mark Ingram as well.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Sammy Watkins. Yeah,
Might
talk to me about Mark Ingram.
I might actually see Lamar throw the ball a bit more now. He's got someone to actually very good to throw to.
Yeah, his only real threat thrown to before was his best mate Hollywood Brown and
your tight end. Who was your tight end?
Mark Andrews.
Yeah, that's it.
He had Willie Snead, but I think I'm not sure he's been cut, to be fair. But yeah, it's
be interesting though this year.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Yes, I lost a bet. Basically, because no one saw it coming. I put every year I put £10 on the Ravens to win the Super Bowl, regardless of the odds. And they were something 33-1 that year, and I just did it. And I'd done it years before, and yeah, no one expected it, and all of a sudden we're about to play the Titans, and Reece is out there going, "You got to cash out, mate. Got to cash out your money." And it was I think the total. Yeah, it was. I put £10. It was 33-1, so £330 returning, or 340 including a stake. But yeah, I think my cash out was something like £150. He said, "Well, you've won anyway. You're 150 quid. Take 150 quid over. You put in £10." I was like, "No, we're actually going to smash you." And yeah,
we were all together because we were going to Prague the next day. They were playing the story.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and there I am,
back and forth,
waking up at 3:00 in the morning, look at my phone, and just think, "Oh, fuck this." Honest to God, honest to God, I was sat in the next morning.
That window, the mirror.
Can I just paint the picture to people who listen to this? So the next day, we're sat in the airport in the equivalent of Stansted Wetherspoons, having breakfast and whatever, and I'm sat there. I always have my baseball cap that I usually wear is a Ravens baseball cap, regardless of whatever the situation is. So anyway, I was wearing my hat. I'm sat looking at a man wearing a Tennessee Titans jersey. Literally, it wasn't even like he was wearing a hat, I just wear a hat, I got my baseball cap on. He sat there with
trot around the airport, jersey,
yeah, and a hat as well.
And I'm sat there absolutely in despair, and there is a photo. I don't think I've got it. You've got it of me sat pretty much with my head in hands, tired because I was just knackered anyway, and yeah, with everything that happened. So yeah, that wasn't fun.
My favourite was the mirror in the shower, or the mirror in the bathroom.
No. Tighten up
in the steam on a mirror.
Some little some cleaner that went in afterwards would have been like, "Oh,
what the fuck is this?
What has happened in here?" They've been tightening up. Lads.
Not sure what that means.
In all honesty, I think between our two teams, it's almost become like a nice little rivalry. That's built
It's
up.
1-1 now, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Well, post-season anyway.
Post-season 1-1.
Yeah,
And
take it, big
it's-
Derek.
Must be nice against the post-season.
Oh yeah, sorry Dallas.
Sorry.
I never know. America's team might get there eventually.
Oh yeah.
Cut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Anyway.
it's good. But I mean that is the end of our tier list section. AFC now completed.
Pretty happy with that.
Very different picture other than the Bills.
You know what?
Very
Wait,
solid
I was
start.
looking at it right.
The more I think about it, the more I'm probably like, yeah, I agree.
While I look at this though, I find it hilarious. This not almost contradicts what I say to people, but I mean I suppose there's a lot of pushing the leaders there, so it is more competitive. But if someone asked me NFC or AFC, I'd be like AFC right now.
Yeah.
And that's not even biased. Like I think the AFC generally is a better.
It's more
conference,
entertaining for
100%.
a start.
Like there's so much more going on. I think there's better teams. But then I look at what we've just put, and we've got one team in GOAT, and in the NFC tier
Wasn't it
list
2 or
we
3?
had 3.
Yeah, 3.
So yeah, crazy. But again, I think it's more competitive. Like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in pushing the leaders. So that's 7 teams that could be
And to be
that
fair,
could win a Super Bowl.
honourable mention to the Dolphins, who probably could just be coming up to pushing the league
Yeah,
at any
100%.
given point.
Let's be honest, a few teams in the pushing leaders are close to go and not too far away, really.
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, you could argue the Steelers and the Pats should be there because of their previous history.
Yeah.
Which would would match that. But yeah, it's I think it's a much more entertaining league because you've got so many teams that I think are more broadening their horizons to that younger audience, and the way it works, which is good. But we'll put this on Instagram again so you guys
Yeah.
can see and discuss. And
Our social media man, Reese, will get it on Instagram. I think that's it's good. I think tell you what, that's done us well. That took up a lot of we spoke about a lot of different stuff. One thing I actually, this is a bit of a side thing before we go into our next subject. We're going back to the rewind by about half an hour, and we're talking about
it's from the
the
Jags,
UK.
isn't it?
Yeah, the Jags and the English side of the game. I just want to put it out there that our American listeners might not know too much about it, but NFL Academy, I think, is a fantastic thing that's just come out of the NFL, and I wish that was something that maybe existed when we were younger. It sounds crazy to think that we were born too early. We were born in like the mid-90s. But yeah, the NFL Academy, I'm not sure if you guys looked too much into it, but they hold it at, they have been holding it at Spurs Stadium. And it literally is like, if you're a young player, like whether you're at school, they're all like under 18, and they all go up there like to literally just try out with the NFL, and they have like NFL like
a mini
coaches
combine.
there. There's British coaches that are probably NFL, but there's they probably live in the States, to be fair. But yeah, like a mini combine, and it's just brilliant. I was looking, I was like, wow, that's like, I remember like years ago when I was probably about 14, 15, and I was 14, 15, looking at like playing the game and stuff, and there was nothing. There wasn't really much about like you could, like I say, you can go and join a local team, but like this like I just think what they've done is
it's a good idea.
It's really good. I think it'd be good to
Like
see.
we said earlier, there's a couple of talents that probably go.
I think there's a lot.
unnoticed
There's a lot of guys out
in
here
the UK.
that I think could play the game, and like I said, that our favourite man's son is now going to play. So yeah.
fair play.
I think that brings it as well. Yeah, is that it?
Yeah, I just want to put. It was something I've noted down. I just wanted to just
man.
shout out to that because I think it's a fantastic.
But it's things like that could then lead to potentially being some form of mini variant
Yeah.
of a league over here.
Yeah,
Because-
And not,
100%.
and not even just the British game, but I think as in the British side of it. Sorry, is the NFL's it's designed around the American system, and I think like our football is a very international game. You've got teams that are full of international players. Over there, you don't get that, and I think that'd be quite interesting to see if something like that could happen.
Yeah, because you've seen it happen in basketball. Over there with.
You've got Russian players.
Well,
and
yeah,
all
the
sorts.
Spanish have got quite a big bit, haven't they? Your Souls and that as their brothers. So
It'd be nice to see the NFL start to get more international players. 100%. German, French.
and the thing
European,
is that the game is not too dissimilar to the. I say that there's similarities to rugby where there'll be a lot of people who have techniques that could be changed and differed.
Buffalo Bills have got an English rugby player.
And that's what I mean, is that you probably see from worldwide side
Just
players that
hitting
might
someone.
actually work for that. And it could work for them.
Buffalo Bills go.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills go.
Anyway, yeah, cool. I think we'll move on to the next segment. In a second, we'll take a quick break, get some drinks and stuff, and then we will be back with you. So yeah, break done, drinks in hand and opened, so you don't have to hear the cracking of cans and all that stuff. So yeah, we are moving into what we usually do is the questions. We put it on Instagram for our Instagram followers. We are so close to 100. Can I put it out there? If you know somebody,
Agonisingly close, aren't we?
like we are literally going to give something away, like either a hoodie or a golden bin.
Both. Both.
Oh, is it both? Is it? So you're going to get a hoodie with a 3-Man Draft logo on it, and a little bin to put your pens in.
Not if you are the 100th, but the first 100 will be put into a little
Little
online
banner.
raffle thing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we got so close. We got to 99, and we looked just before we recorded this. We got down to 98.
We went back up to 99 in the middle of recording.
Oh.
I had a notification just a minute ago saying you got a new follower.
99. God, I want to get that triple figure, but hopefully, yeah, we can get there. Get up to 100 followers, and yeah, and then we get more questions on the Q&A section. So yeah, Reese has got all the questions as a social media man, and he's going to fire them at us, and we're going to answer them.
So, first one aimed at you, Christopher, is about the Ravens. Who was your head coach in the year 2000?
Brian Billich. He was the coach who won the Super Bowl. Or is it Brian Billick?
Billick,
Or Brian
I think.
Billich?
Billick.
I want to call it Billick.
Billy. Yeah, it's not Slavan.
I see him on the old NFL. I see him on the old NFL show a lot. You just cracked up at that, didn't you? I feel like I used to be like, let's edit this out, but I think I'm just going to keep it in. I'm literally sat here looking at these two just crack up.
It's been a long night.
It is quite late. We had technical issues and a lot of prep, and I don't think we count. I never think we never considered the prep before we organised when we're actually going to do this. So, he was a coach. That was him. Brian Billick. Brian Billich. What a man! Super Bowl winner.
That was you had Ray Lewis as a MVP, wasn't it?
It was indeed. Yeah. 2001. Well, we won the Super Bowl in 2001, but it was Super Bowl 2000. He's on the NFL Network a lot. He's really, if you ever go on the NFL Network and if you see any of his stuff, he's really interesting to listen to. That's no bias apart. He's an interesting guy. So yeah, that is mine. There's not much else to say about that really.
Just looking at the Super Bowl that year. Nice number one of Backstreet Boys. Halftime show, Aerosmith, Britney Spears,
Aerosmith is a halftime show.
There's 5 artists: Aerosmith, Britney Spears, Nelly, Mary J. Blige, and then
Nelly.
Nelly.
Shout out Nelly.
I thought you said the Backstreet Boys.
They did the national anthem.
Backstreet Backs. All right.
Yeah, doing the national anthem, and then the halftime show: Aerosmith, Britney Spears, Nelly, Mary J. Blige, and NSYNC.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Nelly. Mental.
That's an odd one. An array of people at their halftime show. Bloody hell.
I mean, it was the millennium, I suppose.
No, I suppose.
2000 to 2001, or 2000 season. So, anyway, on with more questions because now this was posed as Niners taking Mac Jones. Is it an overpay? So I think that comes down to 49ers has been seen to be talking to or keeping a close eye on Mac Jones for the draft. If they take him as a 3rd overall pick, I think they've got. Is that right? 3rd overall pick.
It looks like Mac Jones looks like your. If you were to just, like I said, just say what does a quarterback look like, and you go Mac Jones.
It reminds me of I've not watched a great deal of him, but what I have seen, there's a few highlights of his college career and obviously his pro day that we said about earlier. It does look a lot like kind of a Ben Roethlisberger, kind of very traditional, sort of solid. He's not the quickest. To be fair to him, he's got a strong arm. Probably can potentially be fairly reliable, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think if he was to go to San Francisco,
if he goes 3rd or 4th or whatever they are, that's for me.
I think if they got him at a later round, but if San Francisco went for him as their main aim, I think it would be stupid. Yeah, absolutely stupid. 100%. I don't think they should do it. I think that whole decision would be just bonkers. You may as well just wait, get someone a little bit more dynamic. Like we keep saying, this league's changing a lot, and I think you wait till next year. I think realistically.
Let's just be real. Jimmy G is not terrible.
No, it's not.
And obviously,
and
they sucked without him. So
I mean, they
if
got
I was
to a
Jimmy G,
Super Bowl.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
You know, they didn't win it, but they got to Super Bowl.
And they were terrible without him last year, so that speaks volumes as well.
There's a little bit of doubt in Jimmy G's ability, but you know he's definitely not. He's not retirement age, is he? He's still got years in him, and I think if San Francisco went up there and went up to get Mac Jones, I think that'd be a bit bonkers, really.
Yeah, I don't think they're big on him anymore, as in Jimmy G. I think if they were to get an offer that suits them, I think they would get rid. I think they would trade.
I just think there's so many better options than Mac Jones.
100%.
I don't see this fascination with him, but yeah, I mean that's kind of, to be fair, leads us on to a very good question we got next, which is which order do you see quarterbacks go in the draft? Now we've changed this to be individually the top 5 drafted quarterbacks.
Was it not questioned as your top 5 quarterbacks?
No, the question itself was, if I find it.
Shout out to Jack on this one. This is some links I have to Dallas.
Yeah,
to my Dallas family.
It says order of QBs taken in the draft.
I don't know him, but I love him.
Just because he's in Dallas.
Yeah.
So we've done a
top
5 order each. None of us know what we've done. We've all picked our top 5 QBs in order of what they would go at. I think George, you want to start with this one?
Yeah, I'll go first. So, I mean, you two probably know more than anyone who I've got number 1. To people listening, probably a bit of a shock, and to probably the world, a bit of a shock. But I've got number 1 overall, Zach Wilson from BYU. I just think he's a joke. Just the exact opposite for me to Jared Goff.
So you've
everything I hate about him, I love everything about Zach Wilson. I think his arm, his pocket presence, he's not the biggest, as in height wise, but he's just got so much about him. I think his pro day was good. For being at college, that's not necessarily one of the best. He had a monster season. I think. I just like everything about him. It's just the way it almost looks effortless throwing the ball for him. But yeah, obviously people question him because of his height and things. But yeah, I think he's not head and shoulders, but I think he pips Trevor Lawrence.
Tell you what, you've completely gone against what everyone says, and not trying to sound like Mel Kiper here. I wish I was like Mel Kiper because he's a very clever bloke. But everyone's going to go for the what we think is going to go in terms of Trevor. You've gone for Zach Wilson. I think that's quite.
I mean, it leads on to me. Trevor Lawrence goes second,
So would you say Zach Wilson goes first to the Jags? I know this is another question. We don't want to go too much into this. But for this situation, you saying that Zach Wilson would go to the Jags and Trevor would go to the Jets.
Yeah, but the thing is though, we all know that the Jags are massive on Trevor Lawrence. So we just know that's going to happen. But for me, there's no way that.
This is how you rank.
Yeah, there's no way. I think the Jets would.
Yeah, that
Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson would suit the Jets more.
Yeah.
But there's no way that obviously.
I was saying for all of these we're going to go through their teams, so that's not the point. In that situation, I'm just wanting to know your opinion on.
That goes for to me. Trevor Lawrence number 2. It was very close between them two. I don't know. I do like Trevor Lawrence, but what? I don't know. I just go back to the season, last season when they played LSU with Joe Burrow. I wasn't sold on him then. I know he's had another year and he's obviously progressed a lot more this year. But I remember watching. Don't get me wrong, I think they ended up winning against Ohio State. But I remember watching them. They played Ohio State, and obviously Justin Fields for me, he was just way better than Trevor Lawrence in that game. When I was watching, obviously when they were on the field attacking, there just seemed to be more happening than with Trevor Lawrence, if you know what I mean. But don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to badmouth him. He's a good quarterback and he will be a solid quarterback in the league for a good many years. I've got him at 2. 3, I've got Justin Fields. I'm quite. It's hit and miss for me. Justin Fields again. He's quite small, quick. So again, we've talked about this poddy about obviously the game changing and having to be more mobile and dynamic. I think he has that in abundance. Probably out of all the draft QBs, I'd probably say he's in that sense the best. But yeah, his height for me, again, I guess like Zach Wilson, but his height just is what puts me in third. Fourth, I've gone Trey Lance. Again, I've not seen a great deal of him, but what I have seen and what I've heard, obviously, when I've watched PFT and things, that there's a lot of teams that are quite big on Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few teams that seem to be. Again, I can't.
seen a lot of teams.
Yeah, like there's a lot of
probably
people
interested
sniffing
in.
around. So yeah, obviously that wouldn't be for no reason at all. Obviously, I have seen a few of his numbers, and he seems to be a sort of reliable QB. So yeah, and then 5, I've gone Matt Jones, just because obviously there's, again, for the same sort of reason. I'm not seeing a great deal, but what I have seen, it didn't look too good. Like, I remember I watched his pro day. And Bill Belichick was there, and I remember he sort of overthrew a couple or underthrew a couple, and you think that's a pro day. There's no pressure. He's throwing to an open receiver, and if you can't do that, really, it's kind of, I mean, it's not great. And obviously Bill Belichick was just shaking his head, so it kind of did look great for Matt Jones in that sense in regards to the Patriots. But again, the same sort of thing as Trey Lance. There's a lot of teams that keep sniffing around him. So obviously he's not going to be a terrible QB. And like we just touched on then, like if you want a traditional quarterback that can stay in the pocket, has got good pocket presence, and has got a good arm, to be fair to him, then Matt Jones is probably a man. But for me, in regards to what else is in the draft, he's 5th, potentially 6th, but I'll put him 5th for me. So yeah, that's my 1 to 5 through the draftees of QBs.
Yeah, to be fair, mine's not too far off. I'll probably say what mine is. So, at number 1, I've got Trevor Lawrence. Simple. I just can't see him going anywhere else but 1. For me, he goes 1. Like I actually remember seeing him. I actually had to Google because I was a bit confused to why he wasn't going in the draft last year. Obviously, it was because of due to age and stuff like that, and years at college. But yeah, no, for me, Trevor Lawrence goes first out of Clemson straight to Jacksonville. All those things. There's not really much else I can say on that. I think it's
there's
just,
kind of like a Joey B thing in it.
Yeah,
the Bengals last year.
I think it's going to happen, and for me, it should happen because he's probably the best of the bunch. His stats don't lie, so yeah, he's definitely the best of the bunch on there. My number 2 is Zach Wilson. His stock has definitely gone up in the last a few weeks since his pro day, 100%. I don't think he would have been put as high by a lot of people until his pro day. I know it goes against sort of what we're saying about pro days, and that we don't disagree with them, that we just don't think they're quite the best representation of a player. But for me, Zach Wilson, BYU, similar stuff to what you were saying, really. He looks exciting, to be fair to him. He does look like he's about 12.
He has got baby face.
He does look young, but then I'm a baby face myself, so I can't really say much. That's maybe why I like him. But yeah, he's going to go. He would go with 2 for me. He's my number 2 in the top 5. Number 3. This would be a bit of a curveball, really. Again, this actually comes to a pro day that again I watched from him recently. Texas A&M quarterback Kellen Mond. I'll put him as my 3rd. I watched him. Watched his pro day recently, and that was not that long ago, and he looked awesome. Like he was ripping. Like those balls were just perfect. I have a bit of a soft spot for Texas A&M, to be fair, from people I met and stuff that when I was away out there for a little bit. But yeah, they were cool. Like he looked good. I liked what he did. I thought, what, he's actually looking at the board for quarterbacks. He's a little bit further down, but I like him. I think he looks like a bit of a mixed match between that sort of traditional quarterback and also that sort of bit more mobile. So I liked what he was doing in that pro day.
Hybrid almost.
Yeah, almost. I just thought it looked quite exciting. You know what? I thought I could put a bit of a curveball in there. Something a bit different that most people would put. Trey Lance goes my number 4. Again, pretty much what you were saying. A lot of people like him. I like him. I think he's, from what I've seen of him, again, I think I'd go for all of us really in terms of we don't all watch lots of college of football. It's a little bit harder to watch that here, but yeah, from what I've seen of him, good player. I'd definitely put him as number 4.
Mike, you
Oh,
just
brilliant.
decided to speak to me.
Who's got?
Technophobe George.
Technophobe is yeah.
That's why I don't use a laptop that
We
much.
just I'm sat here talking away, and all of a sudden there's a laptop from the corner of
American
George
comes on
and
the
starts
stream.
talking.
My apologies.
She agreed with you on
What was it an advert for?
I have no idea. Tooth enamel, I think.
Oh, shout out to Tooth Enamel.
It was tooth enamel.
No free shout outs, but here you go. Have your advertisement.
Yeah, free advertisement on the podcast. So Trey Lance number 4. Number 5, Justin Fields, out of Ohio. Is it Ohio? I think it's Ohio.
Ohio State,
Yeah, he would be my number 5. He looks versatile. He looks a bit like a, that Lamar Jackson, that like I said, that new breed of quarterback. He looks like it, and I think he'll be exciting. I think he might get drafted higher. I think he could be up there. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he gets drafted as a second, because at one point before the Zach Wilson pro days, all that stuff, he was getting drafted at number 2, and I'll probably still put him there at number 2 over Zach Wilson potentially, as a bit of a flip. Probably put Justin Fields higher than that, but yeah, that's my top 5. I see Mac Jones is not involved in my top 5. So yeah, and move over to you.
Yeah, mine's quite similar to you. So Trevor Lawrence, number 1. It's very simple. I don't think anyone's looking past that. Justin Fields is my number 2. Pretty much every reason that you've said and George between Echo in it. I stand by the fact that I think Zach Wilson had a very good pro day, but with what we said about pro days, I just think Justin Fields is more about him. I like him. I think everything that's been echoed there. I think we've seen it, and he'll show that there. I said a couple of weeks ago, I think I said second. For me personally, it was actually Trey Lance. He's my 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Lance is there. Again, he's a bit, he's almost a hybrid. His arm's good, but he's also someone you can rely on in a panic. Zach Wilson's my 4. I say his pro day's given him big stock, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go second. But for me personally, Justin Fields is that one at number 2. And my 5 is probably a curveball, a little like yours. It's Kyle Trask, who's coming out of Florida with the Gators.
Nice.
Watched his championship.
Gators.
Yeah.
They're always good, the Gators.
Yeah, I watched the championship game they're in, which was against, to be fair, Mac Jones and Alabama. They did lose, albeit by a very small margin, I believe. But I think he threw for something like 400 plus yards. He threw for quite a bit, and he was just someone who looked like a commander on the field, and was able to switch up where needed to be what his team needed. So I think, I'd personally like to see him get quite a good stock. I've seen a couple of rumours floating around that the Falcons are going to take a punt on him. So if he does end up in Atlanta, that would be quite...
I think that would be quite a good fit.
Yeah,
I
can see it being there.
Especially with Matt
Ryan's
Ryan's situation, I think that might be a good idea.
So yeah, that's my top 5. It's, I mean, for all of us, they're very similar. I think they're similar for a lot of people. It's not although Trevor Lawrence thing is pretty much a guarantee. The rest of it's going to be different in one of those we see on a day, but
there's probably going to be a shock in there. I mean, with when it comes to the draft, I am buzzing for the draft. I do enjoy it. We are going to have a late night on that night, 100%. Like, I don't know. I don't think I've got the day off work the next day. Probably not. Oh, what day is it?
Yeah,
what day is it?
It's the end of the month, is it?
Hold on. Are you searching it as well?
Yeah. It is Friday the 30th of April.
Oh, bingo. I don't start my new job till the 1st of May.
Ends on Saturday the 1st of May.
I'm staying up for
this
that
is
one.
good as well, to be
Happy
fair.
days.
That's my day off. The Friday's my day off. So this is good. Right, so,
I'll be in.
So,
I'll probably be working, but that's fine.
This will be...
So we'll be late staying up for
You know,
that one.
this will be a Super Bowl take 2 where George leaves halfway through and
Yeah,
goes
100%.
to sleep.
Yeah. You know what? I think. Well, we'll probably talk about this off pod, but I think we've got some ideas for that.
Yeah,
I've got some
that'd
ideas.
be
It'd be
good.
quite cool.
That'd be good.
But shout out to Jack on that one. He was the guy
that was an
that
interesting question.
gave
Yeah,
us the
big
question.
question.
I hope he can help us build the fan base in Texas.
Be interesting to see what his top 5 would be.
Yeah, because obviously we all know it's a lot.
Yeah.
The college game's a lot bigger actually in America. And
Oh,
it's-
100%.
It's televised a lot more over
I say
there.
it's
Yeah,
the
on
access
TV a
to
lot
it
more.
is so
Yeah.
much more. So yeah, would be
Might have to get a live link, get them
Yeah.
in.
Special guest.
Special guest, for the first special guest live
to be
from,
fair,
live from Dallas.
it's going to be nice seeing people at the draft this year because as much as they
hated it
made the
last
best
year.
of a bad situation,
Well, I loved the dog.
Yeah.
I love the dog sitting on the table for Bill Belichick.
Belichick,
I think it was great.
it was
I mean,
just
if there's a dog,
Arizona Cardinals owner in that unbelievable house that he had.
his garden and his
Garden just
fireplace
was
and
a
everything.
joke, wasn't it? Christ.
yeah, I want that man's life.
But yeah, on to our next questions. We've got one from a regular listener, Mr. Hampson Senior.
Shout out Gaza.
He sent a double question, to be fair, which is based on our favourite subject, which is quarterbacks. Which
Really?
quarterback is
I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah.
What's your knowledge on D. Lyman?
so
Big.
who is the best in the pocket? First of all, best quarterback in the pocket, George.
For me, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I just think his pocket presence is second to none, to be honest. Obviously, you've got TB, who's very, 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 very good. I don't know, I just think, yeah, in the pocket, his presence, his whereabouts. And if you give, like, me and my dad, whenever we watch Green Bay or when we've ever played Green Bay, we always say, I can say that about a lot of QBs, but we always say, if you give Aaron Rodgers time in the pocket, he will
Dangerous.
He will
Yeah.
destroy
carve
you.
you apart. He will tear you to shreds. There's a few QBs that you can say that to. There's a lot of QBs that you don't say it to. But yeah, for me, Aaron Rodgers, like, if you give him sort of even a little bit more time than you should, it's game done. Well, not game done, but the play's gone, the ball's gone, and he's made a play.
Who's that for you, Jonesy?
Yeah.
Well, I actually wrote two because I had a feeling someone else might put Aaron Rodgers. So for that, he has now retired, but Drew Brees
Yeah.
would be my best sort of QB in the pocket. I would have, because I was actually going to go with Aaron Rodgers, but like I say, Drew Brees was my backup in case someone else said that. So yeah, Drew Brees is my man for that. I thought, it's same sort of thing really. You gave him time and he would punish you.
Yeah.
He wasn't a mobile QB in any sense. He wouldn't be making any runs. He'd like run for a couple of yards and slide. But yeah, Drew Brees for me is that pocket passer. He's just brilliant. What he did at New Orleans was just brilliant. I mean, yeah, he might have had a bit. Hopefully, he will wish he had a bit more success, but no, he did some.
His legacy will live on, won't it?
Yeah, he did
Right,
bits there. So yeah, what are you saying? What's your best pocket passer?
So I had Tom Brady. I
Richie
think
loves a controversial one. He'll probably say someone like Mac Jones.
no. Do you know what mine is? He's someone who's
best pocket passer.
yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
No, he's fairly versatile. To be fair.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston.
It's fairly versatile and someone who we've spoken about before, taking a lot of hits. But Russell Wilson,
Yep.
I don't disagree with that.
he almost has to hold the ball quite a while with the team he's got around him.
Or the defense.
But his offensive line just crumbles in front of him.
Well, there's the thing. So he's kind of on the ball quite a while, but when he's there and he's in the pocket and he's had the time to pick someone out, I think he's dangerous and he's one of the best at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, Russell Wilson's one of those that's up there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I would
Before
agree
that.
with that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well.
And as we go back to it, especially when he's in the right boots with the right kit,
Oh.
he's on fire.
Foot down, left, right, and
Which
centre.
then the other side of that,
Best arm, wasn't it?
His best arm. So for me was Aaron Rodgers. It's dangerous. Out of anywhere he can pick the dime to end all dimes from any range at any angle. And I can't see. Yeah, I don't see him past that for me with him there. Do you know what I mean?
No. I think I'll probably look the same as Hampo on this one. For me, the best arm in the league right now is Josh Allen. I know we talk a lot about Josh Allen, but his arm is just laser. It's just
Absolutely.
wherever he wants it to go, it's going to go, and it's going to go it's going to go rifled.
This is
like
the Josh
it's
Allen
just-
that we put into the bin.
I know we're like the Josh
Not for his
Allen.
arm ability though.
We're like the Josh Allen fan
Fan club.
club, but we've put him in the bin.
You two put him in the bin.
Well, maybe that's what we do. We're making up. We put him in the bin, so we're now making up with the fact that we put him in the bin. So we just praise him every single
guilty
podcast.
consciences are coming out.
Every podcast we talk about wide receivers. You know,
Well,
Josh
I've already
Allen's
tried to argue his case that he should be GOAT here earlier. So
You're like, I gotta get me goat because we put him in the
Please.
fucking bin.
So I'm assuming for you, George, it is Josh.
no,
Allen.
yeah, I agree with Jonesy.
No, yeah.
Just for the same sort of reasons he said.
Is that a mid? No, yeah. Is that a middle?
No, yeah.
Sorry, we're taking the piss. Come on.
Yeah, thanks for that. No, yeah. No, I'll take it. Yeah, the same reasons Jonesy said. Really, it's just an absolute laser beam. Gets to A to B. Probably, I'd say the fastest in the league. And you see sometimes his receiver, like Stephon Diggs, like you can tell he's taking it in, but he's almost a bit like it almost looks like he pushes him a bit because the ball has gone that fast. It's a bit,
I'd actually be scared as a wide receiver to think like he's going to throw it to me and it's going to get to me because he's accurate. But am I going to catch it? Like, is that going to knock me
Is it gonna
sideways?
through me?
Yeah.
And we say about a lot of QBs, like obviously Pat Mahomes has got one of the best sidearms in the game, but Josh Allen's sidearm is it's probably some QBs would like their normal throw to be as powerful as Josh Allen's sidearm throw. But yeah, that's why I've gone Josh Allen for the best arm.
I am part of the Josh Allen fan club and love him, but I've not got a guilty conscience about what I said about him.
Ever since you said you wouldn't put him in the bin, you've just absolutely dissed him every week. Me and Jonesy are trying.
I've not dissed him. I've just not had to grovel about Josh Allen to make it seem like I'm a fan.
I just really like Josh Allen. I just feel a bit guilty.
Right, so we had what were our personal favourites for 3 offensive positions and a total defensive.
Oh, I forgot about this one. I was looking at my notes. I was thinking, oh, we're near the end now. No, we're not.
No, so for favourites, so we've got quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and defensive players. For quarterback, to be fair, mine is Josh Allen.
There it is.
I'm not.
There it is.
He's there. There's no scribbling out. He's the one written down for it. He is my favourite quarterback. I think he's, as to be fair, George has just picked him up massively. But also for me, he's consistent and he's got so much more room to improve, which is scary because of how good he already is. Yeah. But yeah, quarterback for me is Josh Allen. Chris?
Nice. Quarterback for me, TB12. Tom Brady, baby. Like, honestly, like, this is a man that I despised a while ago until I watched him beat the Falcons after being 20 odd points down. That was the moment for me that turned the tide, and I was like, I respect this man. I respect this man. And for me, he's the GOAT, isn't he? TB12. I think I like him as well as a bloke. Like, he just seems like a decent guy.
You can buy some of his NFTs.
You know what? I might do. I might spend a few £.
Trust me,
$2.
Trust me, you should see how much these go for.
Oh God, how much are these?
Well, the albums that went for Kings of Leon for the first ones were like minimum $2,500 ago.
Oh, good.
So
maybe
Maybe not. I don't have $2,500.
Toothpick going or something.
Virtual toothpick. Can't do anything with it.
Can I have a virtual tissue,
It's
please?
a QR code.
TB12. He's just good, and he for a bloke that of his age to still be doing what he's doing, and I don't think we're not going to see him. He's going to be around for another 3 years.
Yeah, I think he'll be. He's still got years left in him. He's got longevity still.
So yeah.
Champo?
Who's your QB?
Probably a bit boring. I've just gone Aaron Rodgers. just
the Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers fan club in the corner over there.
It's just if I was to become a quarterback, I would just try and base everything around Aaron Rodgers.
Perfect world is sat at a bar with Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen.
Tell me that wouldn't be the perfect. Really unreal.
Who's your table of 3? Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, obviously.
Yeah. Get out of the bin or something. No,
Are you taking the guys from the TMD podcast? No, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers and Josh
Allen. I think he's absolute mustard. It's just everything. He's just a cool quarterback. He's very cool, calm, and collected. Knows what he's doing before he does it. He reads the game well. Yeah, for me, that's my favourite quarterback. I like watching him. I can't not like him. Like you say, I just can imagine him being a class bloke to go for a beer with.
Who's your running back then, George?
You'll like this one, Reece. Big Derrick Henry. Just purely for the fact of how he manhandles men. It's just disgracefully. It's just funny.
You sure you're watching NFL?
Yeah. It's just funny the way guys come up to him, trying their hardest to tackle him, one-handed, shoves him out the way.
Yeah, the Josh Norman one against the Bills.
Yeah, it's just laughable.
If
And
you-
you,
if
and you
you-
feel sorry for the bloke.
If he ever has a daughter, I wouldn't want to be like
No,
that.
yeah,
that.
Christ, she ain't never getting a boyfriend,
The
mate.
boyfriend,
No.
would you?
Meet
Yeah,
the parents.
and then going on stats, obviously, what was it, 2,000 yards,
Oh,
2 years in a row?
46. No, so it was.
Was it? Or
1700
close to?
last year, but yeah, rushing leader 2
But
years.
yeah,
in a
he's
row.
been the best running back in the game the last 2 years, probably bar none.
I agree. I put to take my non-bias away. My one is probably Alvin Kamara. I think we discussed it last week. He
was a close second for me.
Yeah, he it's between them two, and my personal bias probably is Derrick Henry for not only the team but so seeing a powerhouse, an absolute freight train going through people for fun, is phenomenal. But yeah, Alvin Kamara for I think the skillful side of it, is probably a very close second.
I'd have a shout out for Dalvin Cook as well. I'd really rate Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
the Vikings.
Dalvin Cook is good.
Yeah,
very, very
he
good.
is. Jonesy.
Alvin Kamara. That's what I put.
Yeah.
I can't especially when I
He's been doing it for so
Going-
long as well, hasn't he?
I hate been gambling up a lot. If you have a gambling problem and you listen to this podcast, but
Gamble away when the fun stops. Stop.
Yeah, when the fun the fun stops. Stop. What game was it where he scored 5 touchdowns? 4 touchdowns.
Christmas Day.
Good. So yeah, a certain gambling company were putting out an offer, and it was.
We're not the BBC. You can say Sky.
Sorry,
Bet.
okay, Sky Bet. Yeah, we are the BBC.
BBC want us.
Other gambling.
Shout out BBC.
BBC Sound. You can put us on there. Give us a budget. We're more than happy to work with it.
Other gambling companies aren't available. Yeah, no, so Sky Bet put out, it was something like at the beginning of the game, it was like 14-1, 50, something like that. It was like Alvin Kamara to score most touchdowns. And I was sat there thinking about, nah. The geezer goes and gets like 5 touchdowns. And to be fair, putting that aside, I watched that game and I was just dumbfounded how good he was. Like, I knew he was good, but he was just cutting players.
Yeah,
like, he was just
I'm
breaking
the same,
ankles. And I was just like, this guy's...
Is the real deal.
This is the real deal.
Yeah.
Like, he does not mess about. So for me, Alvin Kamara. What's next? Wide receiver. Do you start with that one?
Yeah. So go for it.
I struggled with this one.
I did.
Really struggled
I
with this one.
struggled.
I've literally written 2 people down.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to say Antonio Brown. Right.
AB's understandable.
AB. All right.
Oh,
I'm putting
Reason
Antonio
happy.
Brown. Right. I've got someone else on there. Similar thing, but Antonio Brown. I'm putting his sort of mental state aside. I think he's unbelievable. I think he's just an athlete. I think he's just like I find the bloke a bit annoying, but like he's just good. He's just like I've watched so much stuff of him like on YouTube and stuff. Even when he was out of the game because of the whole Raiders Patriots, getting kicked out and all that because of other issues. It seems to be a bit common now at the moment.
Yeah.
Non-football related.
Non-football related issues. I watched a video of him going up against a college player. Not a college player that was probably going to get drafted, but a college player who was basically covering him, and he just got completely in bits. And I was just like, wow, this guy is like
still got it.
like that.
Yeah.
That sort of was like, well, maybe I'd be like that guy in front of Antonio Brown. But yeah, no, to me, he still got it, and the geezer's got a Super Bowl. As an honourable mention, Odell Beckham Jr. for me is an honourable mention. I think once he gets back to full fitness at the Browns, he should do bits. But I'll always remember the helmet, one-handed catch.
Over the back of his head.
That was it, over the back of his
Against the
head.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Some catch.
Yeah,
Some
some catch. I was just like, wow. So that's my honourable mention.
I think mine is was kind of buttoned on. I made a big. I've been ripped for it by you two, by Julio
Oh
Jones.
God, Julio Jones.
Christ.
But to be fair,
Bloody hell.
so I'm gonna admit it. I stand by what I said. My other one.
He's just doing this.
Pick someone else. I'm not letting you have that. Pick someone
My
else.
other one, to be fair, is because genuinely my favourite player in football in the NFL is AJ Brown. Obviously a Titans player, but he's so yeah. Between the two of them, plays quite similar in the way. So yeah, for me, Julio Jones is
AJ Brown's understandable.
Yeah, no, to be fair, we
Yeah,
take this-
yeah, we
Julio
take this.
Jones
Yeah,
is a very good player, and I personally don't think he's as good as he was
no.
right now. Like, I remember watching him 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and I was like, he was just ripping, like literally, he was unbelievable, and I was sat there going, I'm going to name my first child Julio, just so he has the surname Julio Jones. like that guy is that good.
I just cottoned on as well. I was like, oh, I got the same surname.
Yeah,
I didn't realise. I was like,
really?
why are you calling it Julio? I was like, oh, Julio Jones.
It's from Wales, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, AJ Brown is probably. And how about
Well, same sort of thing for you. I went one biased with the QB. I went the running back. I went one biased and one not biased. So for me, Amari Cooper, I think he's just crazy. He's everyone. Obviously, Dak. When we had Andy Dalton and we had the two randomers come in, he's always the target every time. It was always him. Shout out to Mark Gallup, who was as well. It was a tough one, but Amari Cooper is an absolute weapon of a man. But my non-biased one is D-Hop. D-Hop, I just think he's an animal. He's an absolute animal. Some of the catches, if it's single coverage, then you're just not going to catch. You're just not going to not catch.
Well, yeah. Coverage, is it?
Well, the one
that game winning one.
Yeah, he had the two winners.
Hail Mary,
around him.
But yeah, I think even at the Texans he was a joke, and obviously his first year at the Cardinals he was extremely good, and I just can imagine him. The more weapons and sort of understanding he gets with Kyler Murray and the sort of organisation there, stink.
Yeah,
it's just going to get better. It's just going to get a lot better.
D-Hop is a great shout, honestly. Like I think, it's someone that I do. I thought about and I was like, but yeah, no, D-Hop is a good shout.
Defensive player, George.
I've got Aaron Donald. I just don't think you can sort of not go.
He's an animal.
Yeah,
you've seen it, but it's just
as much as
like
I
he spent his
thought.
life in a gym.
Yeah, as much as I thought TJ Watt was a little bit hard done by to not win Defensive Player of the Year, which I thought he was.
You can't complain with it going to Aaron Donald.
No.
That's the thing. Is
that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, if you were to see who it went to, you'd be like, yeah, okay, that's fair. Because, like you say, Jonesy, he is for me, the best defensive player there is in the NFL, bar none. But there's probably a couple that are sort of catching up, but I just think he's crazy. He's an animal. For how big he is, he's an absolute athlete. He's a specimen of a bloke. Like, I was watching his Instagram the other day and it's training, and I was like, I know some players who I play football with on a Sunday, like wingers, that I haven't got as quick as feet as him. And I was sort of like, he's also a defensive player who's big, and his footwork was a disgrace.
Yeah, he's agile, isn't he?
Yeah, and I'm sort of like, that's why he gets so many sacks, because these defensive players, they're like, as if he's got around me that quickly, or he's quite slippery for a bigger bloke. But yeah, absolute specimen of a bloke.
To be fair,
over on that.
I haven't gone for him. He was the one I was going to go for, but I assumed someone else would take him. So I went for Tre'Davious White. Really enjoy watching him play. I think he's by no means on the Aaron Donald level, but just watching him play and some of the things he does and the way that he'll break through a tackle to get to where he needs to get to. For me, he's one that I should enjoy watching. Josie?
For me, again, I was struggling a little bit. I got an honourable mention. So my defensive player is Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
I think
you like Myles Garrett.
I do like Myles Garrett.
You do.
I do like him.
He's the one-man Myles Garrett fan club.
I am. I wish he didn't play for the Browns.
Yeah.
I do like Myles Garrett. I really do. I think when I watch him play, I just think he's just like, if I was a quarterback and I had Myles Garrett in front of me, I was like, I'm going to get absolutely destroyed here.
With or without the helmet.
With or without the helmet. I do. I think when I wrote that down, even you said you loved Myles Garrett, I wrote that down. I thought, I do like Myles Garrett. Don't I? I do. I talk about him a lot, and I think.
Oh, he deserves it.
I think he's just a brilliant player and a good guy. Might have slight anger issues, but Myles Garrett for me is
probably what makes him a good defender.
Hurt
everyone.
Which is funny. Like, one of my favourite defensive players is a guy who plays for a rival team. So yeah. My honourable mention though is Von Miller.
Yeah, man.
Von Miller at Denver Broncos. He's been around for a while.
He's one of we said about the Jets. You're like, you can't really name anyone. In regards to the Broncos, obviously you've had Peyton.
Yeah, to be
Juventus,
fair,
but you've got
yeah.
Von Miller, and he's always been like he's been there years, and he's very, very good.
Yeah, very, very good player. I was going to put him as my main one, but I can't put him as my main one because he's not really.
He did play last season. He was injured, I think.
Yeah, he's not
wasn't he?
turning up now, is he?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, as an honourable mention, Von Miller.
My honourable mention would be TJ Watt. I originally put TJ Watt down, and then I remembered Aaron Donald. But yeah, TJ Watt for me, class player.
Leads on to kind of the last few questions, which are I think a bit shorter. One we just get straight out of the way was Raiders are any good? Long story short, no. I think all three of us are agreed on that.
I say they have potential. It's hard, but if we're going all in all, no.
No, yeah. Would you choose to support them? No, I wouldn't. Is there anything I really like about them? The franchise has likeable bits, as we said, the kit, the stadium. But if you're picking a team on a kit or stadium, sort your head out.
Yeah.
I can't
exactly.
get behind it.
No, I can't. If someone goes,
Like
I
that.
like their logo, I want to support them. It's like, oh.
They've got a couple of weapons, but not enough to warrant being not good.
Yeah.
Don't be wrong. To be fair, like if choosing them for that reason gets you into the game, and you guys love them and fair play, but for me, God, no, I just I'm so glad.
No,
I'm
I think
people.
I struggle with the Raiders just because people, like we know people that support the Raiders but know nothing else about the rest of the game.
Yeah.
All they know is about the Raiders,
Yeah.
and it's like, a lot of people who support the Raiders don't even know anything about.
They
the
just know
Raiders.
Derek Carr.
Like-
That's
They
literally
don't
it.
know that. They just
But
know
the
the logo.
But yeah, that's it. People know the logo, so this question could have come about because people know the Raiders, because people wear Raiders hats, Raiders.
That's more of
Yeah,
a
goodies.
style,
Yeah.
fashion
Yeah.
thing like we
Yeah.
mentioned earlier.
They don't even know what they're wearing.
No.
They're wearing, but just because it looks cool, it's black. It's got it's got a bloke and some like swords on it and
Yeah.
Well,
stuff.
it's the same thing, isn't it? With I think the variant we've got over here as well is there's a lot of people that wear PSG stuff because they've
Oh
had
yeah.
the Jordan sponsorship or the Balmain sponsorship.
100%, mate.
And so, and it's the same scenario where the actual, the club or the franchise or whatever it is was relevant to sport.
Garbage.
Not much about them. And the same thing for the basketball side of it over here, the Lakers.
Lakers or New York Knicks.
Yeah.
Knicks more so than Lakers because Lakers have a bit about them, but the Knicks.
Yeah, people have it and they wear it, but they know nothing about it. They're not a fan, not a supporter. It's like, oh yeah, it looks all right. It was a fashion statement, and it's not. For the people that care, it's really not.
Yeah.
It-
Like we all care, so we know that the Raiders are shit. So we're a bit like, if someone's like, oh, I like the Raiders, we're like, well, do you? Name me 5 players. Derek Carr, cool. Well, you only like the logo or the colour. Like that's it. And if you speak to a Raiders fan who claims they're a Raiders fan, I like to sit back and be like, okay, sort of tell me something about the Raiders. Obviously, I don't know anything about the Raiders because I don't like them. They're like, oh yeah, well we moved into a new stadium. Well, I knew that because it was on every news channel ever, and we wear black, and we're not the Oakland Raiders anymore. We're the Las Vegas Raiders. Oh, good.
If you don't
Cool.
know,
So you don't know
what,
anything.
actually, it's really good that Josh Jacobs has a good, a really good
Yeah.
season, deservedly so, and we've just saw another running back that's going to make him even better.
Then you're like, fair.
yes, you know what?
Fair play.
Odds on, fair play to you.
Yeah, you support them.
You got a wide receiver in Hunter Renfro, who I think is brilliant.
He's got bits about him as well. Yeah.
he's just a brilliant player. But
That's what I'm saying. They've got some weapons, but not to warrant being good.
And
For me.
long story short, bearing in mind what we just did, I think we put them in. Did we put them in meh? I think.
yeah.
But then,
I
but then
like
we say
Gruden.
that last year weren't they the only team to beat the Chiefs?
Yeah.
I think they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like we say
that
but
was luck, one judgment.
I don't know how many more years Gruden's got.
No.
Honestly, like how many years has he got now so far? 2, 3.
But the thing I think as well with the
But
amount
no-
of monetary things
Oh,
going into this change,
Well, that's the
they
thing.
can't
That's why
afford
they-
him to be.
They
poor.
need to be successful now.
Well, that's the
amount of
thing, yeah.
money that's been poured into going to Las Vegas and that stadium.
Well, that's the
they've
thing.
got
That's
to be
probably why they
successful.
can't sign good players or attract the players because obviously they've got like we've just said, they've got things to attract. Obviously, Vegas it's been a bit of a desert, but it's Vegas. You've got probably one of top 5 stadiums in the league, maybe even top 3. You've got an all right kit if you like that, and then you're just a bit like, because they've paid God knows how many millions or billions for a stadium. If you're a half decent player, they're probably like, we can't really give you what you had or what you've been offered, but we've got a nice stadium. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
they pumped, for fair play, they pumped so
Yeah.
much money into the stadium to make them, try and get up. But I feel like it's probably going to backfire in the long run because, like I just said, they can't say, for example, as a free agent that was half decent, they can't be like, oh, do you want to come to us? oh, but Seattle have just offered me this match. Oh, we can't do that. It's like, well, I'm not going to come to you then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think they've almost become. Whereas before, they had this whole thing about them where it was people liked it because of the logo or say what they were. Now I think they've become even more of, I don't want to use the term, but a meme franchise as such. But you know the plastic franchise where
Yeah.
they are now they're in Vegas. They're going to attract people just because it's a local attraction. Who in their right, or not who in their right, but who realistically was going to Oakland to watch them? Not a lot of people. It
Well,
wasn't.
they're playing in the bloody baseball stadium.
Yeah,
for
I mean, it wasn't an attractive place to go to. Whereas,
Oakland fans that lived in Oakland.
I've been
went
to Oakland and it's not great.
this is what I mean, it's not an attractive place to go to, but Las Vegas is an attractive place to go to, be it because you're going for a show or a boxing
You
event
think
or a
there's
sporting
the
event.
tourist side of things
Yeah,
as well.
the touristic side of the casinos,
Yeah.
all of that. So that instantly then brings in the same way that places like Madrid, Barcelona, over here would, the London clubs do because
London
they've
clubs,
got
yeah.
tourism.
Yeah.
That's just going to boost it even more. So in which case you're going to lose out on real or traditional real fans because you've just become a tourist team.
That's why I hated
Yeah,
the fact
100%.
that they moved. Like,
I like that
Oakland-
tourist team.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oakland was the Raiders were the only thing Oakland had, and now that's gone. I don't think they've got a basketball team. They might have one.
Nothing.
They've got nothing now. So I'm just a bit like,
But they're all going to have to just become San Francisco fans.
Yeah.
because they're
They
literally
will.
across
and
the
now
road.
you're a bit like, oh well, my team that I supported for all these years now is in a desert. That's fucking
In a different
miles
state.
away. Yeah. So it's like, I've got to get a flight to go see a team. It's like, I just don't want to do it. So
But yeah, I mean,
if you were, I mean, it's different in America than it is here, but you just end up. I don't know if Americans are the same as us in the fact that you say loyal to your club or your team. But if I was them, I'd be like, well, I'm now going to drive into San Francisco Bay and go and watch 49ers play.
What is it? I couldn't
And
do
do
that.
more
I
entertainment than football for a start.
It would be, but could you do that?
No.
Because I know that, and it's almost probably a better thing about being here where you can't have franchise changes, is that if Pompey were to up stakes and move to Nottingham, right?
Would you go and watch Southampton play?
Absolute no chance.
Yeah.
I might go and watch Bournemouth play or
But
Brighton play.
is the rivalry the same?
It's not, but I'm not even talking about the rivalry here. I'm talking about
You're pumped. When I, like you said, when I was younger, obviously I support Liverpool. Not like my dad forced it on me, but because when you see things, obviously their American football's a thing. So when you're growing up, say your dad's an Oakland Raiders fan, you grow up and you're like, oh, I love the Raiders. You get a kit, you go to your first game. So you grow up doing it, and then like, oh,
Yeah,
fucked off to
your
to
team
Las
is
Vegas.
your team, and you follow them home and away. Now I know moving from where you're based in your local city, but after whether it's 1 year or 20 years of supporting a team, how can I then just say, oh, I'm not supporting them anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand that.
Basically, so but yeah, I mean, long story short, for what that question was,
No.
Raiders are they any good?
Probably spent a
Yeah.
lot of more
As-
time on
a
that
lot of
question.
time running on that.
We should
As a
have done.
team, no, they're not very good. They've got bits that are likeable, but theoretically, no.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 questions left. I hope I've not forgotten anyone. And they're very similar. So, which team do you think would improve the most this season? Now, for me, I've gone the Patriots. Not that there's not that they didn't have a good year last year, but we know the issues there were with Cam. We know that the difficulties they had with kind of transitioning from the Brady era. Not only have they now another year past that, so there'll be more things built up, they've gone game. They have, we've covered it already before, but the amount of people they've signed and the quality and the talent of the people they've signed, I think they'll improve the most on last year. The second question that kind of goes along with it is, which underdogs do you think are going to go the furthest? For me, the underdogs that I think will do the best or will probably go a lot further than they should do, I think I'm putting it out there with the Jags.
Wow, that's
That
big.
is a big shout.
That's a big shout.
It is a big shout, but I think that they will, I'm not necessarily saying they're going to go and beat us and take the South, but I actually think they could do bits this year. I think if Trevor Lawrence settles in, again, assuming Trevor Lawrence goes there, if he settles in a lot better, and also settles in very quickly and has a lot better season than say someone like Joe Burrow did because of the injury, I don't see why they can't take the franchise to not quite pushing the leaders, but being someone who's getting there and biting at the bit to get it. So for me, yeah, those two questions: the team that could most improve, the Pats; underdog that could do bits is the Jags. How does that sound for you, Jonesy?
For me, in terms of the team that could most improve, I'm going to go with probably the Chargers. Again, going back to Justin Herbert, I think they got. If they can draft well this year, I think they're a team that are a little bit of an underdog in any sense. I think, so similar questions that we got. So, yeah, I think they're a team that we might be surprised with if Justin Herbert the fact it was in year one and he looked strong in the NFL.
Monster year, really.
Yeah, I think. Again, I don't want to bring it back to Lamar Jackson and all that kind of stuff, but he came in halfway through the end of his first season because Joe Flacco was injured, and he looked okay, looked good, but didn't look great. No one thought he bottled it against, funny enough, the Chargers. But when you look at Justin Herbert, he had a great first season. He had a great first season.
Protect him and give him some weapons, and
what's the second season going to be like? So, yeah, I think. Almost the answer to both the questions really. This Chargers, but I mean, I wouldn't say these are really underdogs. I'm probably a bit of a sort of bottling it a little bit by saying these guys in terms of who's going to go the furthest as an underdog. But honestly, Arizona Cardinals. I don't personally think that maybe they're an underdog with what they've got now, but I think the Cardinals could go a long way. Yeah. I think Kyler Murray is getting into his rhythm. What he's got around him, what he's getting in that team and around him, I think they're on the course for something big. And this is a team that would have been a Met team, a bit like we were talking about earlier on with I was about to say Everton, but that's not the team that we're talking about.
Everton, though.
Just like Denver Broncos, that was it.
Yeah, Broncos.
Yeah, just a team that are just there, weren't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the Arizona Cardinals. Probably a bit of a cop out saying that they're an underdog, because they're not underdogs. But Arizona Cardinals on that one. What are you saying, Habbo?
I mean, most improved. Surely Cowboys have got to improve, but have you gone for
That's
them?
literally
That's
what I said.
Because I was about to say,
That's literally
surely
what I
from you, the Cowboys have got to
I was like,
improve.
which team will improve the most? And I was like, Dallas Cowboys. Couple of reasons. A, we can't really do much worse than we did last year. B, given everyone stays, obviously nothing's a guarantee.
Dak is back, baby.
Nothing's a guarantee in the league. But, like I say, Dak's back. Hopefully he stays fit, comes back the same as he was.
To be fair, I saw a bit of training video from him.
Yeah,
he looks good.
For a geezer that's been out a year,
he looks agile and he looks like he's getting back into it.
Yeah, obviously I think we've let a few people go. I think we've got 10th in the draft. I don't know. There was talk of Jerry Jones being because obviously being very offensive minded, he was going to trade up and try and get Kyle Pitts. I like Kyle Pitts. Don't need him really. We've got Blake Jarwin coming back from an injury. We need a defensive place. We can draft well and get a sort of a solid corner potentially. I think we've got some weapons in regards to free agents in the defensive side of the ball. Hopefully, obviously, Mick McCarthy's second year. Hopefully, he can sort of implement his style. Get to hopefully us playing like his Green Bay team did. So yeah, the factors and the signs are there. It's just whether it will happen or not. Obviously, I obviously hope they do. But yeah, I went the same as Reece for the underdog team. I went Jags. I was like, if Trevor Lawrence can hit the ground running. Bear in mind, I thought they drafted fairly well last year, defensively anyway. So they've got a new head coach coming in. He's come in and said, I want Trevor Lawrence. Bear in mind, they knew he was going to get number one. But let's be honest, they're going to get for Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, 100%.
There's not two ways about it.
They're not going to get anyone else.
Like I said earlier, it's the same as the Bengals with Joe Burrow. The draft starts at 2, really. But you say, if he can come in, they protect him. Like I say, injuries, stay out of it. He's a solid quarterback. He already looks like he's going to be a very good quarterback in the NFL. Comes in, sort of does what he does best, and I think they can surprise a few people this year, more so than I think a lot of people think. Because I think everyone comes in and they're like, first quarterback, they're not going to do that well. But I think that Trevor Lawrence can do bits if he stays healthy. And they protect him, then I think he's gonna do bits for them. Yeah,
no, I think you're right.
They're not gonna win anything. I don't think. They're not gonna get to the player. They might, but I just think all in all,
Yeah, they're not gonna,
as an
they're not gonna get to
organisation,
Super Bowl, are they?
no, as an organisation and as a team, they're going to be a lot better than they were.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to kind of be obvious,
Yeah.
sort of from the outset. So yeah, I've gone Jags for my my underdog team.
Good way to wrap up, I think.
Yeah, that's all. I think that's all the questions, isn't it?
That is, that is everything.
God. It's actually been the longest one yet, by 8 minutes.
Oh, nice.
We're well past 2 hour mark.
Yeah, we hit literally the last episode. We hit the 2 hour mark pretty much bang on. We're now sat at 2 hours and 9 minutes. It's actually been the longest one.
Strap in, kids. This is going to be a nice poddy for you to listen
Yeah,
to.
considering that we had so many issues at the beginning, and I was sat here almost like wanting to throw a laptop out the window.
And we didn't have a lot to talk about with no
And we were
news.
worried about the fact that my news notes contains 2 bullet points. Malcolm Butler and Tom Brady having an NFT company. I was thinking this is going to be a good show, isn't it? We started it with that. So if you've made it all the way to the end, congratulations, and you've actually probably got the juicy part of the podcast.
Can I give a shout out to Joel Wells? He was the only person from the last one listening to the end that put the Kenny Golladay #1 wide receiver as a comment, and therefore won himself a bin when we do get.
Oh, has he?
He has,
Oh,
yeah.
Joel Wells.
Joel Wells for that. If you listen to this one again, mate, then well done. There's nothing in it this time. I was just the pleasantry of listening to us for 2 hours.
Those bins are on order, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, those bins are. I'm gonna have one at my desk at work. 100%. Yeah. So yeah, cheers for that, Joel. And yeah, just shout out to everyone that listens to us and
share
helps
and
us
like
out.
and-
Like,
Yeah.
especially I've said it before, but you know my sort of a few links I have in the States in Texas. If you can spread the love, and if you want to listen to 3 British guys saying things that you like, apparently they got excited about the fact that we said the word kits.
Instead of jerseys.
Or
Instead of
jerseys and
or
uniforms.
uniforms,
yeah.
So, just things like that.
And
We don't-
anyone else listens to us from non UK shores as well, because we get a few statistics through, and there seems to be a couple of you around Europe as well. So
Belgium was that
I think Belgium was one. So if that's you,
you are the
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I don't know any Belgian, but thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just please keep sharing it around. Look forward to the next one where it's going to be the big draft episode.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
So
look
we
forward
will.
to that one.
Yeah, we'll see you next. Well, I say next week, as if we know.
Next time.
Next time. We'll see you next time. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for listening.
Stay safe. Catch you in the next one.